Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nations Championship, and this one, South Africa versus Wales. On paper, it is regarded as a bit of a one-sided affair, although this Welsh side throughout the last 12 months made quite a bit of progress. The last time they met, it was 73-0, and Wales going to Durban now, looking to make it a whole lot closer. Rassie early on with his announcement. He of course made drastic changes as he has every week of this Nations Championship competition. In the front row it is Harold Steenekamp alongside Malcolm Marx and Carlos Sadie. So you got the experience of Marx in between a couple more inexperienced heads in the Springbok kit in Steenekamp and Sadie, but they will look to be extremely strong up front, try and get that scrum dominance going. Right. From the first whistle, Cobus Visa alongside Ruben van Heeren in the locking duo. We have seen a ton of injuries in the box when it comes to their locks, whether that's Etzebeth, Diaka, Mostert. There's many more. Riley Norton, another one there. No Rua Nokia for this game, but I don't think that is down to injury. That is more so just down to a bit of rotation. Paul de Villiers as the 6 with Peter Stetotoy slotting in at 7 as captain and Jasper Visa there as 8. So a few changes compared to what we have seen across this whole fullback for Rassie. And as Springbok side, Cobus Reinach back in the number 9 jersey with the youngster Vusi Moyo with the opportunity to start at 10. This man in the under-20s was absolutely phenomenal. Reinach, of course, the complete opposite end of his career compared to Vusi Moyo. So it's the young and the experience going toe-to-toe or side-by-side in this match. Against the Welsh, Kurt Liarense out on the left wing, Damien Dialendi and Jesse Krill. They are in the midfield with Jaco Williams and Apelele Fasi as the number 15. So that is the starting lineup for the Boks. Looking through at the Welsh starting lineup, Rhys Curray. He has been absolutely insane throughout the last 12 months. He has scored up against many top sides. He isn't supposed to score today, but I would definitely say that he's in with a shot. Dowie Lake at 2 and Dylan Lewis to close out the front row. He is there as the number 3. This is the type of game for Wales where they have to be strong up front. Set piece will be an absolute key. We've just seen in the Fiji versus Scotland match how effective it can be if you can defend a rolling maul. Wales got a pretty decent maul of their own. They scored a few times against Fiji with it, but this is going to be a big test up against the green and gold here. Teddy Williams and Adam Beard in the locking duo. Alex Mann at 6. Jack Morgan 7, who's always a workhorse out there on the park. And Aaron Wainwright close out the 4-pack as the number 8. Thomas Williams and Dan Edwards as that 9 and 10 combo. Alice Mee out on the left wing. Ben Thomas makes his return in the 12 jersey with Max Llewellyn on his outside at 13. Lewis Rees-Zammit back in the starting side at 14 rather than off the bench like he was last week against the Argentines. And Blair Murray as the fullback close out the Welsh lineup. We have got there, let's go Wales, says Bella. If Wales win here, will it be an even bigger shock than Japan beating Bots of many years ago? Says Ian. Hello again, says Laura McDonald. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. We have got South Africa 71, Wales 34 from Grant for his prediction. We've got there Wales to shock South Africa. And Mr. Smart Amish from Durban, looking forward to your great commentary. Says Brian, I will mention this game is sitting around 30 minutes away. We've got a bit of time before we get into this, but the Nations Championship, it's been progressing nicely. We are still yet to see a close game in this round of the competition, and I think at the end of this match, that's still going to be the case. We've seen South Africa have some strong victories throughout this Nations Championship, beating the Scottish last week, and then the week prior getting a comfortable win over the English there as well. Did you see the Italy red card? Yeah. Although it didn't actually count as a red card per se, because it was a player who wasn't even on the field in Marco Riccioni, but one of the more unique reds that we have seen in recent times. And I am my best commentator. The Boks are there to take it again, brother. We have got the donation there from Mr. D. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for your generosity. South Africa will win this by 25 despite the loss. Fiji played better than last week, says George. Yeah, Fiji were in control for that first half and then just making those mistakes throughout the second 40. Scotland also fired much better off their bench, having players like Schoolman, having players like Cummings and Jamie Dobie all having their moments to change the game completely around. We have got the Amish, says Bella, and how long before the kickoff? Currently, we have got 28 minutes till the kickoff of this contest. This one taking place in Durban. It is the 3rd match of the year for the South Africans. They have, of course, still got a very hectic schedule to come, and as it progresses, we are going to be covering all of those games on the channel too. Just looking through don't worry about the to be determined for that greatest rivalry one. That is because the game's taking place in the USA. But the next game for South Africa will be up against the Argentines. That is on the 9th of August here in New Zealand, or that is the 8th of August for you guys up north. A great game, as it always is. Rugby Championship. It isn't considered as that. It's just an international friendly. Same with that Australian match at the end of September. That is after the 4 test matches where the Boks go head-to-head with the All Blacks. But currently, the way that the tables sit, France is sitting at the top of the Northern Hemisphere equation of the Nations Championship. They have got themselves the 12 points. Scotland in second on 11. Ireland in third on 10. England, Wales, both on 5 points, with Italy at the bottom of the bunch, sitting there on the 0. For the Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand currently do sit top of the table, but we've got to remember they have played an additional game. South Africa, for them to take the number 1 spot, they would have to beat the Welsh by 14 points here, which I do think is definitely more than doable, the amount of momentum that Rassie and his Springboks side have created. As of late, Australia are in third on 8. Argentina still have a game to come, and technically they can finish second at this end round, but more than likely the 3rd place position or 4th is where Argentina will find themselves in the near future. I should mention there are also more games than those ones that I showed you for the South Africans. They have got the November internationals, which are a part of the Nations Championship competition. They are playing Italy in the first round, France in the second, and then Ireland in the third. Those are going to be 2 big matches. The French and the Irish at the Stade de France and also at the Aviva. But if South Africa get through both of those unscathed, they will certainly be number 1 qualifier for the Nations Championship Southern Hemisphere draw. But we have got there as well. No slacking today, boys. We're rooting for you. Says Michelle, and hope this young team will give the 5 points we need in the big points difference. We should be cautious of Wales. Says Marius. What's the try count? Going to be first half, 5 tries for the Boks. They would definitely like to come out firing and score the 5 tries. I would love to think that Wales will try and stay competitive in the early stages just to make us have a little bit of a closer affair. But the reality is South Africa will be determined to go out there to make a statement again and just keep on showing off that depth that the South African side have on offer. We got there from Jackie, has said hello. Welcome in, Jackie. Hope you're doing well. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to let me know your score predictions for this matchup. I was pretty harsh in my review. I went South Africa by 45 over this Welsh team, who haven't actually done too badly in their last 2 weeks. But do let me know. More than 45, less than 45, what is your prediction for this game? But South Africa, they were able to score 45 points in their game against the English. That was 45-21 in a game that was kind of booked as one that was supposed to be a little bit closer. The South Africans came out absolutely firing in the second 40 to be able to fully take control of the game. Their game up against the Scottish. There was a couple late moments that almost shaped that matchup, but in the end, South Africa winning it by the 2 converted tries, 42 points to 28. Then the Fijians, they were defeated by Wales 39-24, and Wales in their game against Argentina, they were beaten 35 points to 21. So the Welsh, they're thereabouts. They're not quite where they want to be, but they aren't also where they were. They're starting to win a few more contests. Box to get smashed, says Mike, and I think Kubis is the right guy for Vusi's first test, says Marius, and I do think that is a lot of what Rassie was looking at as well. Who can he partner with Vusi Moyo to give him the best possible experience? You could have looked at Grant Williams, but then you've also got that situation how Williams, he's a brilliant attacking-minded player. Vusi Moyo, he's still young. He wants to be able to learn how to play as a Springbok 10. So, yeah, Reinach, he's close to the end of his career in terms of a Springbok kit, but he can still pass on a lot of knowledge to these younger players too. Bok by 50, Bok to cross the 100 points. Bok by 50 to cross the 100 points. So you're giving Wales 50 points up against the South Africans here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Springboks by 100 points is the bold prediction, but to say that the Welsh are scoring a half century against the Springboks in Durban is probably the much bolder part of that prediction. We have got there, Jesse Grell is going to be unstoppable. And also we've got there, no wine, just vodka and orange, says Roof. I know that a lot of people will be getting the brine going as we get closer to the start of this contest. Only 25 minutes away from this game starting up. The Nations Championship, it has certainly been heating up big time. these are the games that we're seeing this round. New Zealand as the favourite. They were able to beat the Irish at Eden Park and continue that winning streak to now 53 games in a row at that location. The French, they came in as heavy favourites. They beat Japan in the end by, again, a decent margin. And, 42-15, I think France will definitely be happy with it. Japan will be a bit disappointed that they weren't able to get any sort of point from that game. Italy versus the Australians, that game just kept on going and going in terms of the score sheet, mainly in favour of the Australians, 57-10 for the scoreline of that matchup. Fiji-Scotland was a bit of a thriller for the first half. Second half, though, one-sided. Scotland winning at 33-17. So that currently is one of the closer games that we have seen of this round, alongside New Zealand versus Ireland. And then now South Africa. They come in as the biggest favourite of this round. They are expected to win this game by a hefty margin. England-Argentina. That's going to be a great game and a great way to close out the day. Going to be covering that on the channel as well. We have got there, what is the best box team currently? Well, that depends on who you talk to, because I think that there are many players that can fit themselves into that starting 15 and it be extremely effective. But I don't think Rassi is concentrated on just one strong side. He's creating 3 strong teams that can compete with every other side around the world. So I don't even know if Rassi knows what his strongest lineup is, because it's also all about building those connections. And he's been building quite a few nice little duos and trios in recent times. Damien Dialindi, Jesse Creel, you know what you're going to get with those two. But it's who's your other combinations? Is it an Esterhuizen at 12? Is it still a potentially Damien Willemse option? Or down the line, are you looking more towards an Ethan Adams? Someone like that to be able to take on that 12 jersey. Hook is still in the equation. There's a lot of great players that they can look at here. We have got Kia ora Hamish. When does the game start? Just got home from the shops. Time to make a brandy and coke still. Yep, you've got plenty of time. 20 minutes or so away from the kickoff of this contest. And Carlos Sadie will make an impact. Yeah, he's a big man. He does well for Bordeaux throughout the top 14 season. He's solid in a scrum. And the loose forward trio today is also a great combination for the box. So here's Maria Sims. Yeah, it's quite impressive the way that Paul de Villiers has been able to keep a spot in the starting side. Of course, initially it was going to be Sio Kolisi in the first test match of the year. But from there, we saw the injury of Kolisi. It brought in Paul de Villiers, and he has been one of the few who has actually gotten selected multiple games in a row for the South African side. You look at him, you look at Peter Steph-Toy. They have both played 3 matches. Everyone else, with the exception of Jesse Creel, has only played the 2, at least in the starting side. I saw a YouTube video of Carlos Sadie. Not sure how that's a human. Leads like oak trees. I'm more interested to see how the new guys perform rather than a cricket score, says Robert. And that is a very powerful side, says Grant. And where's Andre of the Springboks? Andre stays, and he's still in the equation. He just hasn't had many opportunities just at this point in time. But he's still in Rassi's environment. He's still in the squad. And he'll probably be playing in that greatest rivalry tour more than likely. But yeah, there's a lot of players who haven't had much of a chance throughout the July internationals. Boxed by 35. Says Mr. D there. South Africa fielded a cruncher team for Wales. And yeah, a bit similar to what we saw in the game up against the Scots. How South Africa once again rotating, finding opportunities for these players to get them game time. They've been trying to use up every single guy that they can find in that lineup. But the Welsh, they have been a little bit of a talking point throughout these July internationals. They are nowhere near as shaky as they were a while ago. Throughout the Six Nations campaign, we saw the ups and the downs of the Welsh as always, but looking through, they had that rough start up against the English, 48 points to 7. They lost by a big margin up against the French. Their last 3 games of the Six Nations, they were actually pretty solid. They lost by 3 up against the Scottish in a game that they arguably could have won. They lost by 10 against Ireland, which was a decent effort at the Aviva. And then from there, they did win up against the Italians, 31 points to the 14. So far, they have beaten the Barbarians. And then also alongside that, we have seen them do well, getting the win over Fiji and a narrow loss to the Argentines there as well. But they are currently interviewing Rassi before this game gets underway. From what I've heard, there aren't any late changes for the Springboks team by the looks of it. I'm just making sure that they haven't got any changes. Paul de Villiers on starting debut. Same with Vusi Moyo as well as Jaco Williams. Looking at the South Africa team again, this is a very dangerous side. If Vusi does well, it's going to be a great game for the Boks. And hi Hamish, Leonard from Loftus in South Africa says Imagination Freaks, welcome in. We have got there, I watched your summary on the games and I agree with your conclusion that it was a narrow victory. Says Xander, and Galaboki says Jackie, and up in Lily Fuss, he didn't sink well last week, so I hope he finds his rhythm. Yeah, he did seem a little bit out of sorts from that number 15 jersey, but that does not mean he can't go out here today and find once again that brilliant momentum that he did actually have before his injuries throughout last year. The Boks need Wales to give them a tough game to sharpen us for New Zealand. Says Robert, I saw that Damien Delinde will play his 100th test in his next appearance. So next appearance for him will probably be the Argentina or that first test match against New Zealand. Currently the Boks, you can see them in the warm-ups. It's no wonder they end up with late injury changes. They are physical even before this match gets underway. But a chance for the youngster Jaco Williams to be playing alongside some of these guys that he is. It's probably a dream come true. You know, you look at how young he is. He was most recently in the under-20 setup, which of course is something that we're going to get to see in about an hour's time. Ladies and gentlemen, we get to see the under-20 Boks up against the under-20s French. Be intriguing. See what happens there. Stand a chance to win a bomb squad experience or something that just popped up on the screen, but I didn't read it quick enough. We have you there just rotated, says Hanger at. And also England 21 for New Zealand's 15 in the under-20. So that's turned into a pretty good game by the looks of it so far. We see there Wilco Low warming up with his team. He will be making his way off of the bench alongside this 5-3 split of Rassi Erasmus. Herschel Yankees, though, a name that I don't think many people were anticipating seeing. See if they were playing again. Yes, Sia Khaleesi will be back at some stage in the near future. He'll probably be in the greatest rivalry tour. They're just showing there, Kobus Reinach only requires one more try to move to 100 test points in the green and gold. He's probably got a good chance of crossing that try line today too. I'll say next to those breakdowns, Wales, interestingly enough though, have dropped down to $15 underdogs. I don't think that's down to anything other than maybe just a late surge. They're just saying there about Paul de Villiers being out there on the field looking for the turnovers. He's a jackling machine. We saw it for the URC Stormers side, how he would just go on into every breakdown. Kalusati is a monster of a human. Where do these people come from? Says Hanger at. Tell you what, there's some huge tight head props around the world at the moment, isn't there? You look at Kalusati, and they're both playing for Bordeaux, to be fair. Look at the big man, Ben Tamefuna. The fact that they can bring one of those two men off of their bench and have the other one starting in the top 14 just shows you how crazy of a competition that one is. Any late changes this time to South African side? Not that I saw. Starting lineup still the same, and I believe the bench is the same too. How long before kickoff, please? Still another 15 minutes or so till this match does get underway. I'd say we're about 5 minutes away from the two sides finishing their warm-ups. Then they'll get out onto the field, national anthems, and then we're underway for the last Springbok game before their warm-up for the greatest rivalry tour. So many fans walk past us on the road. Are going to be full maybe. There are still a few empty seats, but I think it's getting fuller by the minute, which is fantastic news. A lot of Springbok supporters wearing their green and gold kit in the stands for this match, and I hope the Welsh Dragons can get at least 4 tries. Says Ruth. Yeah, I will mention again, for the South Africans to head to number 1 in the overall standings, they would need to get themselves the win in this contest with a bonus point and win it by 14 up against the Welsh. That would then make them overtake New Zealand after the first 3 rounds. Current best 9s, Grant Williams, Cam Roigard, and Thomas Williams. That's changed from earlier, George Smash. I think earlier on, yeah, Grant Williams, Cam Roigards, and Gibson Park, right? So Thomas Williams has now snuck his way into your trio. We have got also, how good is Vusi Moyo, maybe playing Pollard out of the team. I think that it's very early, so you don't want to put too much pressure on this youngster, but when he was in the under-20 setup, he showed a real composure that seemed much wiser than an under-20s player. He has got the rocket strapped to him in some regard. Rassi keeping a close eye on him and wanting to get him in this environment early, because at the end of the day, I don't think he'll be at the World Cup next year, but I certainly think he'll be there in 2031, and that is also part of that long-term squad building that we're seeing from Rassi as well. Where's Polakamish on the bench for a start again? Oh, hell. Says Russo, yeah, he's coming off the bench of the game up against the Argentines, which should be a very close matchup between those two teams. Did you hear back from that South African lady who wanted to marry you last week? Nah, never heard from her. So I assume she took her off the back. We have got there also games on Rugby Pass or Premier Sports. So here's Hori. Oh, okay. Score prediction from someone in a random restaurant has gone 60-20 in favour of the Boks. My prediction, I went 45 points in favour of the Boks. It might have been a bit harsh. They are just showing the coin toss here between Peter Steftatoi and Dowie Lake. So they get the sides prepared to make their way onto the park. Okay, we'll receive the kickoff, please. I'm pretty sure I just saw from Dowie Lake there. And we have the Roof. You know what you're doing? Says Hang a Rat in there as well. But this is the third round of the Nations Championship, ladies and gentlemen. A new competition for the first time ever has been taking place. The next round, it's in 112 days' time. So pretty much what it is the July Internationals and the November Internationals. They are partnered into a competition, and then there will be another round after this. In fact, there'll be another 2 rounds after that, and then the final, which will be the number 1 seed versus the number 1 seed, North versus South, for all the marbles, for the championship. And it will be taking place in, I would say, about 135 days' time or so. So definitely one keep an eye on for in there. But Italy will be taking on the South Africans. That one's going to be taking place as a home Italian game. And then on the other side of the equation, Wales, their first game will be at the Principality up against the Japanese, who I feel they should have a decent chance of being able to get past. And that matchup we have got there, now we have to wait till November. Yeah, it's a bit brutal, but the good news is, before then, we've got a greatest rivalry tour that is going to be taking place, so that is absolutely awesome. We have their big game incoming like missiles. Says Roof there, and South Africa, depending on her background. It's best to ask your dad first. Maybe you even have to pay Lobola. And already getting noisy here, as you would have guessed. Springboks are in town. My aunt's in town. Just everything you can imagine. Says cool story. And also, hi Hamish, hi all. And why can't Wales win? Well, I mean, technically they can, but they aren't given too much of a shot whatsoever here. We have seen bigger upsets before, though. And to be fair, Rassi has made a lot of changes across his starting lineup, so perhaps it could take a little bit longer for them to be able to gel, but more than likely what we will see is a good, solid victory for the Springbok side. Have you had any sleep, Hamish? None whatsoever. We are still going from earlier on. Exciting times from for Vusi Moyo. He has almost similar soft hands of Sexton. What does South Africa have to do to be the best team ever, says Lance? Keep on winning would be a great start. And of course, they are eyeing up that 2027 Rugby World Cup. That is only just over a year away, by the way, before that competition does take place. We got there Hamish at 1 playing for the Boks. Says Mohaddin. And also we have got there, morning Hamish just woke up. And also we have got there, used to one, good work mate, says Viral Shorts. Yeah, still going. We have still got another game after this one too, but this one is only sitting 11 minutes away from the start of the contest. South Africa looking to get a real quick fire start with some new players in their lineup, 4 debutants in this match. And Hamish, that shirt's a mum pleaser. Cheers for the great commentary. Says Tom Butler, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. You're being there again. And we have got there, you're a machine, Hamish, says Sash. Yeah, I can't believe we're already pretty much, I'd say we're about 3/5 of the way through the commentary for today. In fact, probably a little bit more than that. Probably 4/6. What would that be? 2/3. Something like that. Oh, we have the Killer Marshall is here too. But do let me know, ladies and gents, if you haven't already, who do you think will score the first try in this matchup? The exact player. Now, it would be quite the occasion for Jaco Williams if he was the first man to cross the try line in this match. My maths is bad. Says the Blue Nomad. I'm actually thinking someone like Avisa, though. They may look to use the forwards a little bit. Do you go to work? Other SGs, says Tom Butler. Kerwin Bosch, says Kyle. Not quite playing in this game, but handy enough player. We have got there. It's got to be South Africa, says the Blue Nomad. And there as well. But they are just showing the greatest rivalry tour highlight package. They are fired up for it across the 2 nations, New Zealand and South Africa. They'll be starting on August 8th with their game up against the Stormers as the first matchup. My guess first try for Kurtley Arendse, says Wayne there. And Jesse Creel says Mohaddin Reinach to score first. Little sniping run from Reinach, or the support run. I feel like a sniping run around the breakdown is extremely effective. Wales might be able to resist the forward for the opening. I think the back might score, maybe Dialendi. Says Sash, they are just showing there. 13 kilometres of wind, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy weather, but it is going to be a great day for a game of rugby here again. I think the first try will be a loose forward try. Says Hangarat. This commentary for the New Zealand game. How did that go? They went well, New Zealand. It was probably their strongest July Internationals performance so far. Ireland, sadly for them, just couldn't quite get that momentum going at Eden Park. And anytime they started getting the momentum going, it kind of just got reversed, and New Zealand then scored pretty much straight afterwards. What makes you boys think South Africa will score? Says Tom Butler. What's the update on Eben? When last did he play? I never seen him anywhere anymore. So he was initially going to be named, or he was named, in the first Springboks lineup of 2026. Did take a head knock during training, though. And now I think they're just assessing him. They don't want to rush him back. Definitely not with that World Cup just around the corner. And Fussy for the first try, he needs to do it. And we have got there, he will apparently be available for Argentina and Australia, last I heard. Says Hangarat and Paul de Villiers to score first. Says George Smash. Currently doing a whole heap of the pre-match out there on the field. The crowd are fired up. The teams will be fired up too for this matchup. I think the Springboks will score first, says Albertus. And we've seen a lot of early tries in this Nations Championship competition. It's actually been a trend of the comp to have these tries scored within the first 5 minutes of the game. They are just saying that the Welsh, the last time that these two sides met, they were missing 13 internationals for the Welsh. In this case, they have got those players back, though. That game was 73-0. Those answers are crazy, says Viral Shorts. And also, scoreline says Kyle, I'm going South Africa by 45. But I hope it's closer for the sake of this competition. We are yet to see a close game today, split by less than 15. Perhaps we can get one here, but maybe not. I think it's going to be a big win for the boys in the green and the gold. Let's guess the man of the match. Says Liza. I think I'm going with... Who would they give it to? I think it will be a loose forward. Do you work as a radio presenter? I do not. I work as a builder normally. And sorry, Dewey Lake will score first, says Sock. And we have got there as well. The high school says Kyle. But now the Warriors. Mom marks. Or man of the match marks, sorry. I should say. I'm wishing you a great game, Yako Junior Williams from your hometown, Somerset East. We have a great send and celebration for your honour today at 3 p.m. Says Nicholas. Big opportunity on debut. We do see there. We've still got the calf all strapped, one of the Warriors. In the first week, he did actually end up pulling his calf muscle. So he is trying his best to be able to still enjoy the action while keeping that calf recovering. And Durban loves rugby, says Sash, and I got Farsi for man of the match. Malcolm Marks will score first, let the record show. Says Xander there too, but the Boks now making their way out onto the field. Ready to go for this match. Peter Steph Tatoi, again the captain for the Springbok side. He has played lock, he has played loose forward, and now he is taken to the field in Durban against a Welsh outfit that would love to be a little bit closer than they were last year. In fact, they'd love to be a lot closer than it was in November. We hope that you should get a job in presenting. I've never seen someone able to speak so much and still have a smile, says Sonia there. I think it's the sleep deprivation that keeps the smile going, I'll be honest. We are currently into, I think it's like the 7th hour of commentating for the day. Maybe actually more than that. I think it's probably up to the 8th now. And thanks for clearing that up. I was wondering why Malcolm's mum. I was in the picture, says Marius. And we have got there, how's it from Venlo in the Netherlands? You are my lifeline to the Springboks. There is no free match coverage to be had here, says Real Pirate. So we are going to be doing the play-by-play all throughout this matchup. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. The best commentator says, Kevin, how does this competition work? So, it is split into 2 groups. There is a Northern Hemisphere and a Southern Hemisphere group. What I will do is I will show you the table at the start of this round just to make it a little bit easier. Of course, that has now changed. France are number 1 in the North. South Africa will be looking to go back to number 1 for the South as well. But what we have seen is the top 6 North, 6 South. You play everyone once on the opposite side of the table. So, for instance, South Africa will play every one of the 6 nation sides. Then at the end of those 6 rounds, the top side from the South and the top side from the North, the ones who are sitting there in the one spot with green, they will go head-to-head in the Nations Championship final. 2 will play 2, 3 will play 3, 4 will play 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. But yeah, whoever finishes number 1. So technically, and we have mentioned about it before, you could actually end up in a scenario where New Zealand and South Africa are both undefeated. Then it would come down to points differential as to who actually goes through to take on the winner of the Northern Hemisphere pool. We have got the LI Hamish and everyone. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. We have got there New Zealand, or Hamish, New Zealand, Gerard Vivius, as South Africa's best commentator ever. And how did Sam Prendergast play, do you think? He actually went all right, I thought, at times. His passing wasn't great, though. That's one thing that really did let him down. But his defence actually wasn't awful. Carlos Sadie starting the game, and Wilco Lowe coming off the bench is illegal. Both guys are massive. I feel for Wales in the scrums. Good afternoon, Hamish. Trust you well, says Philip. I am doing very well. And we are close to the kickoff now. We are just hearing the Welsh national anthem. And then we will be ready to go for the 80 minutes. You would make a great presenter. You're doing it anyway. Says the Blue Nomad. And also, we've got there, those smiles could be hunger pains, Hamish. Maybe. I had a snack 5 hours ago, though. Oh, no, not quite 5, like 3.5. Somewhere around there. The South African Bush tonight, so no TV. It's on you to bring us the joy, Hamish. Thank you, says Red Hell. No worries at all. We will be here all throughout this matchup, as well as England versus Argentina. Just around the corner as well. But the South African national anthem being sung. Durban's filling up nicely for this stadium. The crowd are very much excited for this matchup. The last before the warm-up of the greatest rivalry tour for the South Africans. But quickly going through the starting lineups before this match gets underway. Gerald Stennekamp in the number 1 jersey. Malcolm Marx at 2. And Carlos Sadie will be slotting in as the number 3. Cobus Visa alongside Ruben van Heeren in the locking duo. And then Paul de Villiers, Peter Steftatoy and Jasper Visa is then there as the number 8. We did see Evan Roos last week, had some decent moments, gave away a couple penalties too. I've gone back to Visa for this Welsh Test match. Kibis Reinach alongside Vusi Moyo as the 9 and 10 combination. It is a debut for Moyo in this game. Curtly Arendse out on the left wing. Damien Dearlendy and Jesse Krill make up the midfield. Jaco Williams also on debut. And Apalele Fasi there as the number 15. We have got the donation from Philip. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated yet again, Philip, for your generosity. And where is the final being played? Predetermined location of the top performer. I think it is in England. I think it's at Twickenham that one will be taking place. Thank you for this channel. The only way I know what's happening, says Erica. No worries. And we are here all throughout the greatest rivalry tour as well, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to stick around for that. The national anthem of South Africa being sung with pride. This side determined to show what they can do yet again, even with the changes that they have made. We've got another donation. Tell you what, you guys are being very generous before this match gets underway. It's from Johan. Cheers. Oh, thanks for all your commentary. Cheers from South Africa, says Johan Pretorius. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated as well. Is that now that's the third before this match has even gotten underway, I believe. We have there, Sky Sports New Zealand should send you the scout. I'll send the scout to sign you, mate. You are doing great work. Keep it up, says George Smash. Thank you very much. But the national anthems, they have been sung. And we are now ready to go for this match. For the Welsh, they have got a few keys. None more important than Rhys Curry in the number 1 jersey. They have to scrummage hard here, Wales, because if they don't, they will fall behind in this contest. They will potentially end up with a yellow card. But Curry's got that try-scoring ability too. Keep an eye out, or keep an eye on throughout this whole match. Thomas Williams, he was regarded at one stage as one of the best 9s in the world. He was in some insane form heading into that British and Irish Lions tour up until his injury. Could have sworn Ruben van Heeren has played in the green and gold before. Very surprised only just now got his debut. I think he's played for South Africa A, which is where the confusions come in. Because I thought the same thing when I saw he was on debut. I was like, hang on, we've seen him wearing the kit before. But yeah, I think it was South Africa A that he played for a little while ago. Here we go, people. Time for the Welsh to have a rugby lesson. Says Hanger Rat. And also just click on the little dollar icon next to the chat box. Says Johan and hey Ruth, how you doing today? So anyone who hasn't already, while we are just waiting for these two sides to get underway, let me know. Score prediction. What is it going to be? How many are the Boks going to win by? Or is there a Welsh upset on the card? It must have been the A side, says Yanko there. Just showing off the bench. Herschel Yankees back in the Springbok side. Mani Libok and Damien Willemse as the back replacements here. The referee in charge of this one will be Andrew Brace. There's a large responsibility heading into this matchup. Glenn Newman, the New Zealand TMO. The foul play match official, the Frenchman and Matteo Liparini. It's a full-on Africa Klein Karoo Desert weekend. And also 52-18 for the Boks, says Stan. His prediction there too. Ben Thomas back into the midfield for the Welsh. They're going to need him today to be an absolute workhorse. But Wales kicked this one off short on the left-hand side and looking to retain the ball, which they almost were able to do. So there is a slight knock-on from South Africa. So Wales managing to get that first ball. 1 second, we'll go like that. We will go like that as well. We have got their Wales 28, South Africa 22. This one's going to be kicked up high from Ben Thomas. From Dan Edwards that time. And it's gone backwards into the hands of Vusi Moyo. His first touch in an international Springbok kit, and the penalty awarded against Wales, not rolling away quick enough. That will be against Ben Thomas. Look at there, how's it, Hamish? Craig from St. Francis Bay. And also, I don't know why, but I have some nerves about this game. South Africa underestimating teams. Have bitten us a few times, so even so. South Africa 42, Wales 28. That would be same score line as last week, right? We saw up against the Scottish. South Africa 45 to the 12 of Wales, says DMX. But Vusi Moyo for his first touch of the day. Alex Mann as well as Ben Thomas in that breakdown, just not quite getting out of there as quickly as Andrew Brace would have liked. The penalty awarded to South Africa. Line out throw, nicely taken by Peter Steftatoy at the front. South Africa blow off wildebeest, says Jason. Now rolling ball, moving around nicely. Seems like it's gone down legally. Now about 40 metres out from the line. Cobus Reinach across to Damian Dialendi. Finds Visa's hands in the midfield. Now Reinach again. Back across to Cobus Visa. Back to having two Visas in the starting lineup. Vusi Moyo back in the pocket. He goes for the up and under. Out towards his old teammate in Jaco Williams. The ball is claimed there by Alice Mee. As Wales get the possession back. Malcolm Marx to cross the whitewash first. Now Dylan Lewis. Oh no, looked like he was going to play halfback, but instead they'll go back across with Jack Morgan into the hands of Reece Curry, and again Thomas Williams will look to go downfield. What's with the kicking? There's a line of players waiting for the ball. Says hang around. I think it's tactical. We did see the Boks get some nice territory in the last game from the kicking, as well as in that first match that they played. Thomas Williams close to the sideline somehow stays in the field of play. Dan Edwards told to kick it downfield. Nice hands from Apalele Fasi. Back across to Vusi Moyo, who again will go with the up and under. Maybe got a bit too much on that one. Yes, he did. And the mark is called by Blair Murray inside of the 22. Obviously, Moyo knows that he got just a little bit too much distance on that. He was going for height, but he also got length with it. Now, Blair Murray. He will kick this one downfield off the left-hand boot. And does get it into touch. And Philip is sizzling today. Says Ruth. Currently 3 minutes gone in this contest. Believe it or not, we've had quite a few Nations Championship games where 3 minutes in, we have already had a try. Now, luckily, this round seems like it's going to be a little bit slower for tries being scored. But I don't think many were anticipating longer than 10 minutes for the Boks to get there first. South Africa is going to win, says Jayla there. Now thrown in by Malcolm Marx, taken by Ruben van Heeren at the line out. He is also on his debut. 4 debutants in Russie's 23-man side. Now Reinach again looking towards that box kick. Business end will settle. Definitely a try on debut. Now chasing after it. Jaco Williams showing the pace. Slapped back by the Welsh. Blair Murray gets back there, but lightning quick on him was Cobus Reinach. Joining that breakdown, Damian Dialendi. Looked like he came in slightly through the side, but it's still on the side of the Welsh. Now passed across to Aaron Wainwright. Pressure for days from this Bok defence. Again, they will have no option here, Wales, but to just kick this one towards the sideline. Look to get the line out going. Although, doesn't find touch with Thomas Williams, taken by Vusi Moyo. Goes infield to Apalele Fasi. Breaks the line, didn't quite link up with Arunsa on his outside, who's joined the ruck from the Welsh side. The ball is still there for South Africa. Big run from Vesa, who was dangerous in the last week's game up until his injury. Now De Villiers delays his pass, goes to Dialendi, tackled early by Lewis Rees-Zammit. Now Reinach, short ball to Jasper Vesa. They will not stop him from there. And Vesa scores the first try of the contest for the South Africans. 4.5 minutes into the game. Did I pick Vesa as the first try scorer? I know I said loose forwards, but did I specifically go Vesa? I can't even remember if I said him in the end, but Vesa goes in, and the Springboks strike early. There was a tone of the game, says Hangarat, and we have got their Wales to destroy Springbok rugby, says Jason, and South Africa is going to do all types of nasty styles. And yes, Jason, he's number 13, says George there, but the big run from Jasper Vesa, yeah, you said Vesa, says Johan there. He slammed his head hard on the turf there, Vesa, when looking to finish it off. But the first try of the contest now, Vuse Moyo for his first kick in an international Springbok kit. He gets it down the middle. And that now makes the score 7 points to 0. And go, Vesa, you're looking more alive this week, Hamish, says Carol Ann. And yes, you don't have everything in the lead already. Yep, the breaking run from the big man, Jasper Vesa, in the box, says Philip Bailey there too. Like they said, Vesa is such a hard man to stop. And to be fair, Dan Edwards, valiant effort from the 10 to at least try and stop him from that close to the try line. But it was always going to be a losing effort with the dangerous ball running that you see from Vesa there. And the ball ground got head-butted. But kicked off now by Dan Edwards. How's it going, Hamish? Says Byron, welcome in. And there's the shine for Moyo. I think he kicked that one over, and he also, he got one kick that was a little bit too deep, but his other kicks so far haven't looked too shabby for Vuse Moyo. He's had a couple nice passes as well. Took that ball in the field of play when Thomas Williams, was looking for the touchline. Forward pass, have a try. Says Dazzo, who scored the first try, was Jasper Vesa. Was able to cross the try line first. Now around the halfway line, Wales with possession. And it would seem again that the box kick is going to be the best friend of the Welsh. What's your prediction, Hamish? I went 45 points in favour of South Africa for this game. Now kicked him behind. Ellis Mee chases after it. Moyo going up for the ball, trying to slap it back, but Wales getting some good hands on it. And there's the knock on from the box. We'll go back for a Welsh scrum. Now we have got their huge troll on the group, folks. Jason Hamilton, let's get him. Says Harold. And we have you there, what's your prediction? Oh no, I read that one tonight. I see Wales conceding 10 tries today and at least 2 more tries for the box before 20 minutes, says Marius. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how quickly they can fire again, because is this too bold to say I think Wales will score in the first half? I think they'll get one somewhere along the lines. Now the pack weights, absolutely huge packs for both of these sides. 937 kgs for the Welsh and 947 kgs for the South Africans. Sadie is certainly bumping up those numbers. And we have got the quick in and out for Wales and give Moyo time. Don't say it, Hamish, says Hangarat. And New Zealand 34, England 21 in the under-20s. Also running away with it a little bit. No, Wales will score. Says Marius, although Andrew Brace is going to have a reset of the scrum that has collapsed down. They're just talking about the 136 kgs of Kalu Sadi. Going to be a hard day at the office. Hi, long time, says Anton. Welcome back. And who scored, Hamish had just arrived. So it was the first try for Jasper Vesa in this contest. It was just a storming run. Powered his way through and then finished it off. Already 8 minutes through this game. What was the score? New Zealand, Ireland, 40-21 in favour of New Zealand. Where are you sitting commentating in Kiwiland? Correct, yes. So it is currently 3:50 a.m. Now, ball's going in. And penalty awarded to South Africa. The last thing that the Welsh wanted in the early stages was to give away scrum penalties. They got it out in the end, but it was just a little bit too long for Andrew Brace's liking. Thoughts on Fiji-Scotland? Very good first half from the Fijians. Scotland found their rhythm in the second. And go to the box, here's Anton. That one's kicked downfield and into touch. And revs from Wales, employed by Irish Rugby Union. Says Dazza and 350, that's early. Stenicam, great scrummager. And that's the thing, the South African pack, they can make changes in the in the 1 and 3 jerseys and still be just as effective as when they have Oxenschat and Thomas du Toit out there on the field. Malcolm Marx throws it to the back, nicely taken by Vuse Moyo, and that'll be a penalty. They weren't back the 10 metres at the back of the line out. Moyo getting done for offside there. I rush to make a coffee and already I missed a try. They could have just waited out of respect, says Xander. And we have got there, I feel sorry for the Welsh prop. Hopes and dreams and all that. Yeah, although Reece Curry, Dylan Lewis was the one who got penalised, but Reece Curry, he has scored against many great sides throughout the last little while. He scored multiple tries in the Six Nations. He'd love to add the accolade of scoring against the green and gold in this contest too, but to do so, they will need to get him close to the line. And we have the Hamish, haven't joined in ages. So here's Andy, baby. Yeah, it is great to have your back rolling maul attempted here for Wales, although it is going backwards. So it's almost a reverse rolling maul at this point in time. Thomas Williams moving it away to the right-hand side. Passes it on nicely to Damien Dealendi. Finds the hands at Aaron Wainwright. Malcolm Marks on the ball and wins the penalty for not releasing. Wales missed their clean out. And Marks, lightning fast, managed to get that steal again. We have you there, Dazza. The ref is Irish. So here's Yanko there. And we have got there also, what else we got? Let's hate to get this sock. Same as showing another shirt. I have a few other shirts. I quite like this one though. The other one that I've got, it's got a little bit of green on it, so it doesn't really work. Or like not green, but it's almost blue, and sometimes it goes see-through. Like from the green screen, not actually see-through. Marksy Beauty, I met him once, hell of a nice guy. Says Lyle Clear there. Now he has got the line out here for South Africa. Throwing it in, almost over the head of Ruben van Heeren, but he claims it nicely above his head. Now Paul de Villiers moves up to the 22-metre line, tackled by the captain Lake, as well as one of the busiest Welshmen, Morgan. Vusi Moyo, wide cut out pass into the hands of Kurt Liarense, one-on-one with Murray. To 22, Reinach, cross to Harold Steenekamp, rush defence from Alex Mann. He's got a bit of history with the South Africans from last season. Reinach pops it up to Cobus Visa. It's the Visa show at the moment. They've looked for the offload up just short, and it's a knock-on from the South Africans just out from the try line. But tell you what, both brothers almost got in for a try there. We have you there proudly from Western Cape, Bok. And also we'll get the Are You Box fan, says Anton. I'm a fan of international rugby in general, which I know sounds like a very diplomatic answer, but I love watching the Springboks in action. I love watching the development that Welsh have been able to have, or the Welsh have had throughout the last little while though. But yeah, we mainly cover in terms of lineups and everything like that. It's mainly New Zealand and South Africa on the channel. How's it, everyone? Says Ulrich, welcome in. What's your take on Moyo? Very strong, talented young player. He'll be under pressure here, don't get me wrong, but this is the perfect game to be able to blood him in. Give him the opportunity, get Russie, giving him some minutes in this type of situation, in this type of environment. We say everyone should send you a John Deere 2-tone khaki shirt, Amish. Says Hannes there. And Covers Fest is really growing on me, no pun intended. He reminds me a bit of Argus Neyman. A big push there from the box. It's almost a bulldoze over Aaron Wainwright. He's driven back into his in-goal area. And that is a very much so domination at scrum time from Carlos Sadie. If we ever seen his side, I'm sure we would have, but not in recent times, seen his side get driven back from their own 5-metre line. And then a big push that almost led to the try. We have the Amish. The All Blacks always won in Eden Park. If they can't win in Wellington, we teach them a lesson in Wellington. Says Faruqia, Wellington, many sides have taught them a lesson in Wellington. I think they've taught them a lesson. Maybe I need to go back to school. But, yeah, what was it? 7 losses of the last about 12 in Wellington or something like that. And we have there, I've yet to see another team scrum like that. And we have got there, can you be in the box, please? I did just get rid of them now, going away to the right-hand side. Reinach, he was tackled high, but it didn't matter as he runs over anyway. And South Africa get themselves another one early here. South Africa win the rugby, says Francis. And how did that happen to Ireland and Argentina? Says Hanger Rat. I don't think, not on their own 5-metre, right? And South Africa win. And I says Zimzo, welcome in. This hammering should not be allowed. Russie has no mercy. Says Ian. But a big run from Reinach. Your pronunciation of Afrikaans is very good, Amish. Says where you got. It's going to be a long day at the office. Yes, it is. It's going to be a very long day. Definitely because of the fact that now we have seen the completely one-sided affair in terms of scrums. Hard to listen to a bunch from the Southern Hemisphere congratulating themselves. Says Tim Phillips. And we have you there. Yep, because I'm from South African, so I'm hoping they win. Says France. Amish, we need you on the box side. I don't think I'd add anything to the Springboks team. In fact, I think I would add more points to the Welsh in this contest if I was out there on the field. But It is now over from Vusi Moyo, sitting 2 from 2 for his debut test match. And they are 14-0 up now for the South African side. We have got their young digger. And also, who's a weak link in the Welsh scrum? I don't think there's one specifically. It's just the scrummaging of South Africa in general. An Ireland in the 2023 World Cup penalty try, and Argentina in the Rugby Championship in 2024. Your memory is much better than mine then. That one's going to be kicked off. Now, yes, Professor. Reece Curry making the tackle there on him, about 24 metres out from their own line. Moya was doing well for a debutant, says Theodore. And evening, Hamish. I appreciate the commentary. Oh, Miyako Williams chasing after it. De Villiers knocks it on in the end. So Wales will have the scrum, although I don't know if that's actually a good thing. In this scenario, good job, Vusi. Have he done a line-out run yet? He did one line-out run, and then he was offside. If that's what we're talking about. Today we are cooking Wales in 80 minutes. Says Dr. Truss. All right, Roygard, he's a baller. You see there, Yako Williams was trying to get to that ball. Ellis Smith didn't look like he really wanted it too much. And De Villiers was pushed before he could collect the ball, says Hanger Rat. 5 handling errors from South Africa compared to the 0 that we have seen from Wales. But of course, handling errors do not win games. I bet we're going to see Wales passing South Africa knock-ons back. Just so they don't have a scrum, says Yanko. Now Williams. Put the ball in here again. Wales need some sort of momentum. And again, just timing the push. But this time they did nicely. The Welsh getting it out the back to Aaron Wainwright. Now short pop pass from Alex Mann. Looking for the steal was De Villiers. He's been crunched there and a bit of a turnover chance. And there's a knock on from Thomas Williams. Yes, Pavesa back in possession of the ball. It's on the side of South Africa again. I don't think they ever got back on side there. Wales, the kicking behind. 50-22 is well and truly on. This ball will stay in the field of play. Morgan has to clean it up 1 metre from his line. He was clotheslined by Gerald Stennekamp, and it will be the penalty awarded to the Welsh 5 metres out from their line. It's going to be a pushover for the box. There's Anton there. And Gerald Stennekamp disappointed to be given away that penalty right at the wrong part of the field too for the South Africans. And position grey 8-0 says Hanger Rat, and also Wales are all over the Springboks, says Jason. That one's gone into touch. And now I've managed to get away from there. We're just seeing the replay. Well, it's a little bit unlucky for Gerald Stennekamp due to the fact that Morgan was dipping, but he still caught him round the neck. We have got there. Thank you, Hamish. You are awesome. Says Maureen there. We've got plenty more coming up in the near future. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got the greatest rivalry tour, which we are going to be covering on the channel as well. So be sure to stick around for that. Now looking for the rolling maul here, South Africa. Being told to use it once, breaking off the back. Sorry, it is the Welsh who have got the possession. Thomas Williams moves it on to Alex Mann. Nice step from Wainwright. Can't quite get through that Damien Dearlindy and Jesse Creel midfield combo. Kick downfield from Dan Edwards. It's close to the sideline. Claimed by Apalele Fasi. Now looking for the up and under. Both men lining up the ball. Fighting for it. Fasi may have just lost out on the aerial challenge. Williams fires it across again. Looking for the pass back. A lot of pressure on Ellis Mee. Delays his kick and decides to run it instead. Well, that's a brutal shot. Side of the head on one of the South African players. Believe it was Ruben van Heeren. Thomas Williams again away to the left-hand side to Aaron Wainwright. We have their score prediction, 64 points to 12. What was that penalty for? For a high shot from Gerald Stennekamp. Now, he was unlucky with the position of Jack Morgan's body, but he did still get him round the neck. So it was why the penalty was awarded. Ow, that would have hurt Vusi Moyo's shoulder. Looks like he might have disconnected it. Oh no, he's all right. He's good to go. He's back up on his feet now. Vusi Moyo running to the short side. If he's kept this ball in the field of play, it's going to be a brilliant counter-attacking chance for the Springboks. And now go to only about 10 metres out from the line. Blair Murray, 2-man tackle on him by Arnsa, as well as Apalele Fasi trying to turn it into a rolling maul. Now Williams waits for this ball to come out the back again. Ads are paying you in Australian dollars, or sorry, US dollars, and not rands. You're welcome, HC's one Pierre. That one hasn't found touch again. Now running forward, Yako Williams flicks the offload out to Jasper Visser. Oh, big shot there. Bit of a handling error from Reinach, but it's gone backwards. So again, the call is play on and penalty awarded to South Africa. We have had a quarter of this match already. And already there are hands on hips from some of the Welsh players. They are feeling the fatigue. This one's being played at a brutal pace. Vusi Moyo, he will kick this one towards the sideline rather than going for the 3. We have there Vusi Moyo is showing what he's made of. I want to say by Vusi, yeah, it looked like he hurt himself in the process, Vusi Moyo, initially. He's done so well not to dislocate his shoulder there because he easily, with the way that it kind of slipped around, could have. And then he got up and ran about 30 metres while he was at it. Obviously, needs to relax a little, says Hangarat. Probably easier said than done, though, when you're having your international debut for the Springboks, a side that you have probably wanted to play for since you were a young boy. Him, Jaco Williams, Ruben van Heeren, Carlos Sadie, all in that same boat, though. Here comes another rolling maul from South Africa, although there's a knock on. So Wales will get themselves the scrum 10 metres out from their own try line. And we have got there 80 points to 21 all day long, says Red Howell. And we've got there our closest to a full strength team as Wales fielding. It's a very, I wouldn't call it experimental, but it's not, I wouldn't say their strongest lineup. There are quite a few changes compared to what people consider as the strongest Welsh team. But they've got quite a bit of rotation going at the moment throughout their games. I think it's actually something that's helped develop the Welsh rugby a little bit more over the last 12 months or so. They're willing to make those changes no matter who is in front of them. And should the Rugby Championship be moved to the same time as the Six Nations? No. No, probably not. We have got there now 21 minutes gone, though, in this contest. It will be the ball fed in by Thomas Williams again. As I almost lose my voice. Now breaking off the back, Aaron Wainwright. That was an ugly head-on-head. And I think it's going to be ruled as just play on for now. Vusi Moyo trying to make the tackle. Ben Thomas has got Damien Dealendi in an ankle lock. I don't know how legal that was. Is Emmett better on the wing, says Dazza there. The forward score in the first try this weekend or what? Yes. We did see Jasper Wiese score the first. And then Kobus Reinach was able to get himself the second. That one's going to be into touch. And don't be too sure. Out the Springboks. Remember Hugo Porter. Bet South African man alone, says Sean. And also Ireland is on the decline. Wales is rebuilding. Italy is very inconsistent. England need a new coach. France is solely representing the Northern Hemisphere. Tough times for the North, says George Mash. Yeah, currently the way that it sits for this round, it is 2-2 in terms of the standings. So this will more than likely make it 3-2 in favour of the South. And then Argentina, their big game later on against the English. That is regarded as the closest game of the weekend, and hopefully it lives up to expectations. Malcolm Marks, though, breaking off the back of them all. Now, Kobus Reinach going away to the left-hand side, finds Peter Steph de Toy's hands, but they're into the 22 of the Welsh again here. South Africa, Jasper Wiese, the first try scorer. Told to get out of there for Jack Morgan. He was almost dragged back in by Kobus Reinach. A nice strategy from the 9 and a big knock on from Jasper Wiese. De Villiers. Oh, what? This is interesting. Okay, Andrew Brace didn't see it, lost forward first. He gave the advantage for the knock on, though, Andrew Brace. So he gave the advantage. Then the breakdown happened, and then he awarded the penalty to South Africa. Then was reminded by the touch judge that there was the knock on. Yeah, Andrew Brace put his arm out for the knock on and then told the players that he didn't see the knock on. Interesting. We have got there, the Welsh are already struggling to keep up, says Hangarat there. And hey, Hamish, my favourite commentator, says Judy. And here we go, another one, go the box, another try coming. Mr. Brace is confused, says Hangarat. But now 23 and a half minutes through. Now, if Africans in the stands, they are having a bit of a party environment at the moment. Annoying finally, Paul de Villiers got a turnover, and now this, says Yanko. And yeah, he has been working hard, hasn't he? He's been close to getting multiple, and then just never quite got it. And good morning, says Big Kiwi. And the Welsh is hoping for uncontested scrums. And the Bok effing around too much. It might end up backfiring on them. They should pull their socks up. I mean, they're still 14-0 up. And they haven't been threatened by Wales as of yet. We've hardly seen Wales outside of their own half. So I think it's definitely still early stages in terms of any sort of worry to come for the South African team. They're in control. It's only once Wales start looking like scoring that you be a bit more concerned. That kick off the side of the boot from Dan Edwards has gone extremely high. Didn't get a massive amount of distance on it. How full is that stadium, Hamish? Says Red Howe. It looks full from the shots that I've seen, but maybe there might be a few empty seats like further up. But from the angles that we've seen from the field, it's looking pretty packed, and it sounds packed too. Yeah, I'm not seeing a huge amount of empty seats around the place. It's more like a practice game for the Boks, says Anton, and Wales are putting on a good fight. Says So Incredible. And not worried about Wales, worried about the low score. Now thrown in, taken by Peter Steph Toy. Now Malcolm Marks holding on to this one at the back of the rolling ball again. Jasper Visser will join in, and there is now the advantage in favour of the Boks again. This one moving forward nicely. That is going against Dylan Lewis. Be very careful to avoid the yellow card here, but the Boks, they are just marching towards that try line slowly but efficiently. Reinach now told to use it. He will break away to the right-hand side. Damien Dialendi tries to shovel it on to Creel knock on. So they'll go back for another penalty game. It's only 24 minutes. Some South Africans here already moaning and unsatisfied, says Ian. And we have got there, the way things are going, we are going to see 3-3 result in each of the rounds of the competition because the two hemispheres are close, is what the Argentinians would want. And the handling errors are not good. Says Hangarat. They've had the advantage for quite a few of them already. Again, we'll just put that ball out about maybe 8 metres from the try line. Boks have slowed second 15 minutes, says WP. And whereas the running rugby we are used to seeing, too many rules these days, says Carol Ann. But 6 in the line out. This says rolling ball written all over it. And I'd be very surprised if that's not the tactic they go to. Here it is. Ruben van Heeren claiming the line out. Wales looking to defend it. But again, the maul of the Boks is starting to make meters. De Villiers has ended up a little bit isolated, though, through the middle of the maul, and it's bounced out onto the side of Wales again. Now Thomas Williams trying to break the line. 2-man tackled in by Marks and Visser. Staying behind the hindmost foot for the South Africans. Jack Morgan told to use it. He pops it up to Dowie Lake as they just get ready to settle it again. Wales just getting drowned in their own 22 currently. No space to work with whatsoever. We have there Wales dominating now. And Try-Time Baby says Biscuit. That one is going to stay in the field of play. Now Vose Moyo going for the up and under. In fact, this time it is Upper Fassi towards the 22. Fassi unable to take it cleanly. It's a knock on. And Peter Steph will have the try disallowed. But Fassi unable to take it cleanly. And greetings, Hamish, in the chat. Someone asked who am I supporting for this one? Well, I have a lot of family in Wales. There is only one team I could possibly support. Go the Bok. Says Mountains of Asylum and also Unforced Heroes by the Boks, which was kind of expected with the reshuffled team. We have got their South Africans messing around. It's annoying. Says Hangarat. And please bring in Valimza because Fassi is pissing me off, says Young Dagger. 27 minutes through this contest. Been flying by so far. Been a relatively smooth running game in terms of no real TMO and interference in this match. Another knock on, correct, yes. I thought the Boks would be up by 20 by now, says Sock. Well, they're up by 14. They're one try away from being up by 20. Andrew Brace just once again asking for the gap to be kept. All pre-engaged. An hell of a pace of this game by the sounds of it. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. As this match wears on, it's probably a benefit that it's not at altitude, because this pace at altitude would be, like, I don't know if you could do it, but because it's played in Durban, it seems like both sides are wanting to empty their gas tank early, but that's only a tactic that can work for one of these two sides, and it's not Wales. Lots of Bok knock-ons. Says Red Howe. Now Aaron Wainwright back driving, tackled in by Kubis Reinach. Jack Morgan joining that breakdown to keep it on the Welsh side. But again, they're just playing exit rugby from inside of their 22. Thomas Williams looking for distance. That is a very good strike from the Welsh number 9, trying to give his side any sort of chance inside of the Springboks half. We have got there, the Boks are crushing the Wales. Says Anton. Samoa Romania game is a close one. Only 3 points in it. Samoa winning 34 points to 31 currently. That sounds like a really good game. And I guess Nations Cup's probably where we'll see the closer games of this weekend. Not so much in this one. Now Malcolm Marks throws it into Kopasavisa. Across Reinach. On the hands of Damien Deal. No, in fact, it's Paul de Villiers there. Round the halfway line. Reinach this time goes back to Vusim Moyo, who again will go for the up and under. Yako Williams chasing after it, but uncontested for the ball was Alice Mee. He has knocked it on, says the referee. And now scrum feed for the Boks just outside of the 22. Is this the end of the Bok era? No, not at all. We have got there, if we keep the Boks at sub 30 points, I'll be happy, says Inquisitor. And we have there Vusim Moyo keeping up in this game. He's had some good moments. I think he's also shown at times a few nerves. I'm at the stadium now working the event. Such a good vibe here in Durban. Always love the Boks. The Boks coming down here. Says Boba Chris. We're backwards. It looked like it, but it has been ruled as a knock-on by Andrew Brace. South Africa now have the attacking opportunity. And Moyo kick it too far. Luckily, the knock, says Ian. And the Boks have a lot of 22 entries, yet they don't have points to show. They're meant to be far ahead, says Liza. Now getting ready to go for the big push. Advantage now in favour of the Springboks. At scrum time again. Reinach runs straight through. Alice Mee making the all-important tackle. This time, Peter Steftatoy was about to get the try, but there's obstruction, so they'll go back for the penalty as well. The fan on the big screen was not happy with that call, so it was obstruction. We have got there. I have a question for you. Which rugby team do you support in the World Rugby Nations Championship? Says Naeem. Well, I'm from New Zealand, so it should be the All Blacks. But as you guys, well, some of you will know, we've covered just as many Bok games. We covered just as many games of the Flying Fijians, of Scotland. We cover the Six Nations each and every year, so I've become quite impartial with certain sides. We have got there stated repeatedly. He supports the Blue Bulls and the Springboks, says Xander. Now, Vusim Moyo. Ready to kick that one into touch. Go the Bok goes, says Julian. Too much playing around. Not a good habit. We see it there. Yeah, unfortunately, Paul de Villiers just having obstruction in front of the ball. Only 14 points come on the Boks. Our scrums are just too strong. Our A, B, and C scrum are the top three, says Ian. Now line out here, all contested at line out time, but nicely back onto the side of Jasper Visa, manages to bump through one. So, but we teach the All Blacks a lesson in Wellington and in Twickenham, says Farouk there. Now moving out of the way of that breakdown was one of the Welshmen, 32, and it's another drop ball. This time, it has better Steftatoy. Said that one go through the hands. Winning is almost guaranteed for the Boks. We want to see as more clinical execution and less errors. This is not happening so far, partly because Wales is fighting back and the Boks are rushing. Says so incredible. I'm worried about how much the forwards are messing around. Their power, they should score easily and let the back line get busy. And better Steph drop the ball, says Hanger it. Yeah, that one's slipping through the fingertips of the toy. It'll be interesting to see the kind of head-to-head here in terms of the scrum stats. Also, they've just shown there the visits to the opposition 22, 9 from South Africa, 1 to Wales. Wales are yet to score any points. South Africa have 1.6 points per visit, which is actually pretty low in their overall. Thomas Williams told to use it. They'll go back to Dan Edwards, who again, the option for Wales is to just kick this one down the middle, and ball dropped at the back by Apalili Fassi. This will be the first time Wales have been inside of South Africa's half for quite some time. A little bit of a push in the back there from Lewis Rees-Zammit to Fassi for throwing the ball away. The Fassi is still playing after half-time. I'm going to lose it, says young Dagger there. How's it, Hamish, says Clinton. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Is it raining at the stadium? No rain for this one. Maybe a little bit of evening dew with the humidity side of things. Yeah, the push in the back of Apalili Fassi. You probably should have expected it when you throw the ball away afterwards, though. But 7 minutes remain in the first half. Fassi is struggling, not the same as before, says Marius. And go the Bok, says Foreign in there too. And Fassi off, says Jason. So he's replacing him. I assume with Damien Willemser in that case. Going away to the left-hand side. Ben Thomas. A little bit of a fall over there for Thomas Williams at the back. Big driving two-man tackle. And go to the box. Says Jane. Away to the left-hand side. Ball is still on the side of the Welsh, but they have to get some go forward. Bit of a rough pass. Good pick up from Blair Murray. Some good acceleration off the mark again. Now Thomas Williams looking to get the kick in behind, and it's a nice skidding one. Is it going to go out? No, it will just stay in the field of play. Now the in-goal area put down by Fussy, and another late shot from Lewis Rees-Salmon on him. It's just a little bit of something going on between those two at the moment. Great commentary, says Herman. We have it there, so it's not the point. You put 50 on what, but you're teaching the All Blacks a lesson which you will never forget, says Farouk. We have there box against much better Scots, 8 entries, 6 tries. He already 6 entries, 2 tries, says Ian. Yeah, 1.6 points on average per entry for the Springboks is much lower than you used to see. That's going to be knocked on by Peter Steph-Toy again here. On the Wales side, they have got the advantage. They're on the halfway. Blair Murray decides to kick it in behind. It's not the choice, although to be fair, not a bad kick there from Murray, but it gives away their advantage that they had. And the Box must stop kicking so much, says Hardis. And not going well here for South Africa, messing him bad. Says hang a rat. Shame, guys. Jason destroying hard to rage bait and nobody's going for. Someone humour the poor boy, says Yanko. We keep knocking the ball, says the Wald. There's been a lot of knock-ons throughout this first half for South Africa. Excellent commentary watching as always from Swaziland, says George. Now Malcolm Marks, 10 metres out from their own line. Fussy not doing well to react to those shoves. Or doing well not to react to those shoves. Wales looking for trouble early on. Now Paul de Villiers. Still 10 metres from their own line here, the Box. And now Kibis Reinak doesn't quite get the angle that he would have liked. It will be out about 25 metres from the South African line. This is the best chance that Wales have had almost of this whole half. It's a shame we're all waiting for the bench. We should have had the starting team that could do a better job, says Marius. At 5 minutes left in the half, yeah, correct. It has flown by. We're already 36 minutes through. We have there, just reminded all the comments here, the All Blacks will be murdered by the Box, believe it or not, says Tamunda. Get some jam on Peter Steph-Toy's hands, says Juan Bravo. Nicely taken there at the rolling maul. Now of the Welsh going away to Ben Thomas. Runs up the middle. Peter Steph-Toy, crucial tackle made there. De Villiers looking for the steal. Reece Carre was bulldozing his way forward, but another knock on, which brings now the South African scrum back into the mix. I don't think there's been too many men out there on the field who have not dropped the ball throughout this first 40 minutes. Too many handling errors from the Box, says Farouk. And go the Box, says Vanita there too. I will mention anyone who is new. Of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We've still got another game around the corner. England versus Argentina. Actually really impressed with the Welsh lads to keep it so close this half. Game is or sounds pretty boring, says Eugene. Well, we've had a lot of knock-ons. I think that's probably about the 8th, maybe even the 10th of the half. The score should be 30-0, says School Story. And also we have got there, are we deliberately knocking it in order to scrum, says Nicholas. I mean, it's a tactic. It'll probably be an effective one too, but no, I think they're just getting it slightly wrong. Scrum holding strong this time, but just waiting for the advantage, and they'll get it again, South Africa. And every single scrum, they will play it with the advantage. Reinhardt kicks it downfield. They'll go back for the penalty yet again. Where the other bot goes, says Pierre. We have got there, are you doing the World Cup final? No, probably not. Now we have got there, Dasu will scream at them. I expect Boca play in the second half, says Carol Ann. And while starting to fire on all cylinders, says Ruth. Now, unfortunately, Moyo. He will kick that one into touch nicely down into the Welsh half. Knock on Box today, not cool, says Red Howl. Yes, it is because ignorance shows. You probably think you guys have been the best since the game was created, says Sock. Wherever the English will get smashed tonight by the Argies, although they come in as slight favourites, England, after that performance that they had against the Fijians. Now line out for Malcolm Marks. Thrown in and taken by Yas Professor at the front. Vusim Moyo goes across to Damien Dearlendy into the hands of De Villiers. Welsh trying to turn it into a rolling maul with some good physicality from Ben Thomas. Reinach again, back across to Dialendi. Tackled on the halfway line. Carre leaves his feet. Now again, they're kicking behind this time from Reinach. There are players back covering, although an awkward one. What did Blair Murray do there? He's done a fly boot and somehow get the ball in the field of play. Reinach got almost wrestled into Dutch Williams under pressure. This one trying to kick it forward was Dylan Lewis. It's got a bit scrappy between these two sides, but somehow after all of that, it has ended up back on the side of South Africa and an advantage for the Welsh being offside. They'll go back for the penalty now. We have it there. South Africa is going to win. Says Jordan there. Now we have got there, it's the Durban Climate Box been knocking it on so much because they have possession so much. Wales would be knocking it on just as much. Now we have it there at the box at pause, says Hangarat. Under 20 final delayed due to bad weather. How much is it delayed by, Nkabi? Is it bad that I'm kind of hoping they'll play it tomorrow instead so that we can cover it on the channel? But yeah, they're supposed to start at 8:30 local time, so that's quite late for a final, isn't it? Whereas see, is he injured? Yeah, he did suffer an injury in the first game. Or actually, before the first game took place. Now, Kabasavesa again going across to Vose Moyo. Big shot on Jesse Creel. Now, back across to the left-hand side again for De Villiers. The only people that beat the Springboks are the Springboks, says George. Now, Reinach hopping the ball up again. New Zealand won the bronze final match in the under-20s, says Samkelo. Now, no advantage. This time again in favour of the Boks. Reinach, oh, that was almost head on head with Jack Morgan. Both men ducking their heads into the exact same place, and it looks like Reinach was really feeling that one. And they scored before the halftime break. South Africa, they had 2 early tries. Now back across, Reinach pops it up to Kobus Vesa. Now through the hands of Dialendi, but well gathered by Fussy with the netball pass on the outside to Damien. In fact, no, this time it's better Steph Toy. Damien Dialendi joining that breakdown though, ready to protect that ball for his side. Reinach, they've got the penalty advantage as well. Vuse Moyo going for the cross kick. Up for it was Jaco Williams. Bounces into the hands of Creel. And it's the third try for the Springboks of the half, right near the end. And 19-0 now with the kick to come. Can't wait for the greatest rivalry, says Lonku. And we have there finally, says Socken, great try, says Jan. But Jesse Creel scores his 23rd try. I'm going to see it here, the cross kick from Vuse Moyo. And Jaco Williams getting enough hands on it to be able to slap it back onto his side. And Jesse Creel finishing it off in style. Great, we needed this, says Netta there. And not know who's there, pick a box, says Leon. And also good effort though, says Inquisitor. But Vuse Moyo now, he's sitting 2 from 2 off the kicking tee. This is probably his toughest kick by quite some way. The other two were relatively straightforward. And that one has missed away to the right-hand side, making the score at halftime 19 points to 0 in favour of South Africa. I respect Rusty for sizing up his opponent so well, says Tevin there. And also handling errors, says call me shorts, and ABs will handle the Bockies. It's going to be intriguing. It's only around about 4 weeks away or 5 weeks away from that first match of the greatest rivalry tour, in terms of the first test match, that is. Because it's being the end of South Africa rugby, no, not at all. Nowhere near it. As Welsh always expected to lose. It's about putting in a good effort and not giving up. That wasn't a try. It was a knock-on from Africa. I assume you're talking about the ball that went backwards from Jaco Williams into the hands of Jesse Creel, right? What I'm quickly going to do while we're here in New Zealand at the halftime break, I'm going to see what the weather looks like for that under-20s France versus South Africa match. Someone said that it has been delayed due to bad weather. Are they even showing it? They've got the 9th place playoff between Italy and Ireland being shown. Surely they're showing the final here, but it doesn't look like they are. looks like they're showing everything but the actual junior final because Sky Sport 1's got something else on it. Interesting. And Usman. And also Cecil Africa not playing, he's retired. And also Rassi question over, no, we're not starting anything like that, Jason. We will get rid of that comment. We have got there the odds for the first New Zealand versus South Africa match is wild. Says Slow GT and Drakis, says Henny. Yeah, those two going head-to-head in the UFC just around the corner. Oh no, it says that game's going to go underway very soon. The teams have made their way out onto the field, but before we get underway, we'll pause for the national anthems. Is the one that they've just got there. Junior final delayed because of the weather. Interesting. So they're saying the national anthems are still taking place now, though. So is that correct or incorrect that they're doing the national anthems? And Ireland versus Italy, under 20s about to start. Says already there. So on the under 20s, why is it important to play for placing like sevens? I think it's just down to the under 20s rankings and whatnot, and just keep everyone playing as late as it goes in. How is Vusi doing? He's done all right. Like, don't get me wrong, he's had a couple shaky moments, you could argue as well. But I also do think that's understandable for a young player. We saw the same for Jaco Williams, how he had a couple moments where he wasn't 100%. The France versus South Africa game is delayed. Are they still doing the national anthems now, though, Richard? Because I just got a notification saying they were starting the national anthems. So how much is it getting delayed by? How's Hamish doing? Says Tauhira doing very well. Incorrect, the match is being delayed because of the weather. I wonder if they had like an automatic update then. Because yeah, it's got there from about 3 minutes ago. The teams have made their way onto the field, but before we get underway, we'll pause for the national anthems. They'll probably pause for a long time if they still aren't going. We have you there, typical. Oh, they typically only delay rugby because of thunder. I know you're doing just fine, says Carol Ann. And we have got there, that's the Ireland versus Italy game. They are doing the national anthem, says Hori. Now, I got it for the France-South Africa. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, it's supposed to kick off in 2 minutes, but by the sounds of it, the coverage is a bit rough. Rugby TV coverage of the under-20 final hasn't started yet. Probably with scheduled notification for you, Hamish. Says Janko there, but currently in this matchup, 19-0 in favour of the Springboks. We've seen Jasper Wiese, Kobus Reinach, and Jesse Krill as the 3 try scorers. I think Vusi is a name we will all still say for many years to come. Give the kid a break. Says Mariska, yeah, he's on his debut. So you're always going to have a couple handling errors along the way. But at the same time, like, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those ones that he just needs game time. And I hope that people don't turn their back on him after one game. How many minutes in this game? Still another, what do we got? We've got another 40 minutes remaining in this contest. We've also got another 2 hours and 40 minutes until the next game that has taken place. That'll be between the Argentines and England. Any reason why Wales aren't playing in red? I think it's because of the colourblind thing. So they've decided to make it easier by not having two sides in very similar colours. How long until halftime is over? 1 second, I'll get you a rough time. But normally it's a 15-minute break in this Nations Championship. So currently in this half-time break, we've had about 5 minutes. There's still another 10 minutes or so remaining of the half-time break here. Yeah, I think they're automatic notifications because they've just said Ruben Keane of Australia has the whistle for this one, and then they've talked about who is going to be in charge of the match. Has there been any South African replacements? None as of yet. We are still waiting for a little bit longer to find out if Rassi does make any changes right near the start of the second half period. I don't think there's anyone other than, I'd say, Fassi seems to be the one that most people have said is the most likely that they'd like to see taken from the field. And they do have straight cover for him and Damien Valimza, who has sent Thunderton Stadium to delay that final for at least an hour, is doing a wonderful job, says Theodore. And how does Kurtley Arons doing? He's done all right. Hasn't had a huge amount of the ball, though, throughout this matchup as of yet. Keep Fussy on. Springboks are winning, and Fussy needs game time, says Liza. And hi, Hamish, says Daryl. Welcome in. I love this series. I believe Rassi is using it perfectly to rotate the players. I think Rassi will be more consistent with players during the New Zealand series, as there will be club matches to watch. And Kurtley Arons has been having a very quiet game. Yeah, like I don't think he's done too much wrong, right? He's just had a couple touches of the ball, maybe a knock on. That's probably safe to say, seeing as everyone seems to be dropping the ball throughout this match for both sides. as Pollard, Sasha, and Lebok, our starting number 10. We're playing with a different number 10 every game. And the thing is, they're playing with a different 10, and with that, they're playing a different tactical game each and every time, the South Africans. So I do think they're in the scenario how Rassie has so many threats that he can offer from that 10 jersey, and he doesn't necessarily have to limit himself to just playing one player, one style. Wales come back, says Singh. A lot of handling errors in this game, so annoying, ruins the momentum of the game, says Red Pie. And we have their Wales to come back, and Farsi worst 15 ever. Although, to be fair, like last year before he got injured, Farsi was actually doing some incredible things from that 15 jersey, or it may have been the year prior. I think it's very easy to look at what's happened recently for him and say that he's out of form and not doing great, but there was a time where there was no way you could take him out of a starting lineup because of how well he was going. Are we over there, France? Arabi tweeted 9:15 France time. Oh, what time's that, Mike? Well, 1 second. Time in France. Oops, that's not how you spell France. 9:15 is the start time. That's 2 hours. 2 hours, 45 minutes away. So that'll be starting at pretty much the same time as Argentina versus England. I was so humble, he won't read about how people think he is cool. Says cool story. It's a plus 10 hours for you, Hamish says hang a rat. And Wales to win, says Singh. Vasi needs game time, he's been playing for some time. Says Liza. They're just showing there the South African maul errors. There's been a few of them in the first half. I think both sides would just say that first half they made mistakes, but second half could be a completely different story here. Now we got there, True says Xander. Yeah, just talking about using the crowd for momentum in the second half too. I'll just have a quick look and see what France Rugby have been saying about that final. While we are at it, at the halftime break, when's the under-20 final? It says 6:30. So it's been delayed due to bad weather. People have been saying, and because of it, what do we got? They haven't put it on Facebook yet. By the looks of it, it's 45 minutes away, dude. Interesting, because the time in France is 6:30. So that would mean that rather than it being 9:15 France time, it would be... Wait, where was it? The time. Did I misread it? Oh, the chat's going very quickly. I think I've missed a lot of messages in the process. But of course, the junior box are going to be in action. So yeah, 45 minutes away. So they've got a delay of, what, an hour, I guess that would be. Changed again, says Mike. I was going to say, because 2 hours, 30 minutes time seem way too far in the future. How many better coaches there are in comment section than Rassie, says Henk. And also 7:15. Rassie is for sure shouting at them in the locker room for all these knock-ons and hard to drop the ball if you don't have it in the first place, says Yanko. And 11 handling errors from the box. We got the can you do it? I don't think so, because it will still overlap with England versus Argentina's matchup. The balls are becoming slippery due to humidity, so knock-ons order of the day, says Grant. And I don't think it's minding the South Africans too much at all, because they love a scrum, and we've seen that so far while our Kiwis watching this game. Your poor, sweet paws. Well, sweat paws, hush, hush, we will get to you, says Arokskator. Hopefully I've said that correctly. I don't think I did. I might have butchered that last, but I apologise. When is Argentina playing? They are playing at 7:10 a.m. New Zealand time. So 5:15 is when the juniors will kick off. I don't think they'll be finished in time. The problem for the Box are kicking for territory, offloads and music, says Sven. And thanks to much for a brilliant commentary, Hamish, appreciated, says Ria there too. And also, Box need to wake up. Too many knock-ons second half, and we must put 50 points on them, says Yanev. You see, they've got the 19. They've taken the steps in the right direction at times throughout that half. You can't blame humidity. A bad work always blames his tools, says Carol Ann. But yeah, I do think that if it's anything like the Scotland Test match, we're going to see some momentum In the second half, maybe Kiwis are watching because they love rugby and aren't toxic like the South African fans. Says Uhias. Are we allowed to watch any game we want? Are you South African always in here when our games are on? Talking about Russie in your mouth. Jeez, that's... We have their last week box team defence not good. This team's hands not good. Russie will fix. I can't afford this against New Zealand. I'm just looking through for that under-20s game as well. I don't even think they're showing it in New Zealand, which kind of tells you how much it's overlapping with this one. We have got their bad lives here, CJ Bosch. Yeah, well, it's currently halftime. You can leave, though. Fun fact, you're not being held here hostage. I hope you're not anyway. Be a bit of a rough one because we're here for another few hours, correct? Can't play badly against the All Blacks if you're going to be a good test. Says Yaniv. And also RIP to keep trying to type how bad the humidity is in Durban. Says Mike. Last week the Box team defence not good. Although their defence has been solid here. They've been very physical out there on the field, haven't they? They've been able to go in and get some smashing tackles. Oh yeah, Junior World Cup Live has just been set for 6:30 a.m. New Zealand time. How much what's your take on the debutants? Only 40 minutes over, but so far they've all been doing really well, hey? I think that Jaco Williams has been trying his absolute best to get into this game and sadly just hasn't quite had the bounce of the ball. I think Vusi Moyo has looked solid at times. Of course, there's going to be a few nerves there playing the 10 jersey, plus with a bit of pressure that Wales are putting on, which I think they do deserve a bit of credit for. And then on the other side of the equation, you've got Carlos Sadie, who's looking strong up front, and Ruben van Heerden, who's doing his job at the line-out. We have got there Durban. Never been a good hunting ground for the Box, says Mike C. And I think second half the Box will turn it up, score lots of tries. Prediction for the England game, 10-5. And what about in South African time, says Hilart. So if it is that time being correct, that would be 8:30 p.m. South African time for when that one will be starting up. But again, there's a lack of information at the moment about when the game is actually starting. There's been about 2 or 3 different times that have been said. But second half of this one, there's one thing for sure, and it is about to start back up here. We have got the second half of the Box. We have a fast start, quick couple of tries, and lots of hard, unforgiving tackles. Jaco Williams is a good point. He's been struggling a bit. The other 3 were great, I thought, including Vusi Moyo. Yeah, well, Jaco Williams, you could put it down to an assist for him as well at the end of the half from being able to get that slap back to Jesse Krill. But yeah, it hasn't been an easy day. It seems like they've just been half a foot behind when it comes to the chase. We have got there also, if they stop thinking about tomorrow, lying on the beach, they will play better. It's 25-7 in South Africa now. Farsi has not been good enough again. Drops more balls per minute than a lottery machine. The junior final is supposed to be on now, but it is delayed. Yeah, it is delayed. It's just a question of how long it's delayed for before it does get underway. Bad weather is what's delayed it, though, Yaniv. And us South African rugby fans are the rugby equivalent of Indian cricket fans, says Arnold. How did my boy Marks do? He did very nicely, Malcolm Marks. Brilliant turnover in the breakdown, too. I don't think Vusi Moyo are not taking his chances, looks too nervous. Says Mike, and who scored the try? We missed the first half. So the first half tries were scored by Jasper Vesa, Kopus Reinach, and Jesse Krill right at the halftime break. But the Box are in the huddle, out there on the field, waiting for the Welsh to return to the park. And Yankees is just as useless as Marnie. Says Bruce there. And the AB's coming to South Africa, says Nick. And Bear with a no man, says Yanev. Although it does mean that it doesn't overlap with this game, which is one slight bonus, you could argue. Because it does mean that many people will be able to watch that junior Box performance now. We have got there. What is your prediction for the game? I predicted South Africa to win by 45, and I think I'm still happy with that prediction. I don't think it will be a mile away from that type of margin. It would be nice to see South Africa score a few more. It would also be nice to see the Welsh get at least one from this match. 73-0 the last time that these two sides played. Okay, they also haven't got any information for the junior Box at this point in time about a new start time. Now this one's going to be kicked off by Vusim Moyo. Gets back underway. It almost went into touch on the full, but nice take from Alice Mee just within the touch line. We have there Wales, says Singh. Now going back across to the right-hand side. There's this handsome fella, says Pro Pleb. What is the Springboks next game? The next game will be taking place in around 21 days' time, I believe, and that is up against the Argentines. Slap back there into the hands of Reinach, though, offload to Cobus Vesa. Passes one more, and the debutant, Jaco Williams, scores 40 seconds into the second half of this match. We have you there, always so angry. Says your letter there. We have got there, the Bok is born winners. Says your letter in there, and they are certainly proving just that. Listen to the commentary just because it's you commentating. You're doing a good job, Amish, says Nick Edgar in there too. But the first cap and first try here for the youngster. They went for the box kick. The Wales just outside of their own 22. Oh. Was that tap back or was that a knock on from Cobus Vesa tapping it out to Cobus Reinach? Now it hit the hand of Alice Mee completely fine from that other angle, and then the offload to get the assist. I told you Jaco Williams needs time. Nice try for him. We have got there. So come on, Wales, give us a try at least. Says Real Pirate. Maybe by 40 is the new 60. Says Daryl there. We got a no-nation. Whoop, whoop, bonus try. Right, that is correct. They do now have the bonus point. But Vusi Moyo has once again managed to convert 3 from 4. What's happened to the Wales? They just haven't quite... Well, they had some good moments in that first half. I don't think they need to take huge stick from the way that they've started this match. They actually, they had some competitive moments, but they just played from their own half a lot. Now rolling this one back. Taken back into the 22, so Reinach will be unable to kick this ball into touch. Oh, Alice Mee going up for the ball, unable to take it cleanly. Now Paul de Villiers, pick and go from Jaco Williams. Knock on this time from Reinach. Round the halfway line, Thomas Williams going away to the right. Now, advantage over is the call. Again, it's just any time that South Africa have a handling error, they just boot the ball downfield. And now that one's booted into touch by Apalele Fassi as well. Now, Apalele Fassi, that was probably one of his better strikes of the day. Go the Bok, says Michelle there, and nothing happened to Wales. This is normal, says Sean. I think I like about South Africa's team is no team has 2 first name, says Pro Pleb. Now, line out here going to the front, and Andrew Brace, quick to pull them up on it. Said there that Wales have to come in and form it. It's going to be Ryan Elias throwing it in. Dewey Lake looked like he was injured at halftime, unfortunately. Instead of running and picking up the ball, slowly jogs and kicks it well. Now kicked high again. Oh, that's a risky take from Apalele Fassi, but the penalty is awarded to Wales, the furthest up the field that they have been. Advantage the early contact there. It's just been reported on TV here in South Africa. That France versus South Africa game will start at 6:10 p.m. It's 5:45 p.m. now. Okay, so it is going to be that must be a 5:10 kickoff for us here in New Zealand. So in about 25 minutes time before this game comes to a close. It's been put into touch. A kick for Poles, otherwise lose by 0. Says Liza. And if Fassi was debuting today, I wouldn't see a second game in his lifetime. 7 in the line out here for the Welsh. He's at about 15 metres out from the line, thrown in and uncontested from the Bok. Thomas Williams fires it away to the left-hand side. Now Ben Thomas manages to get through. Away to the left again. Fassi off Willemse on. Can't happen quick enough at this point. Wanted Moyo and Villy. Welsh 45 minutes in, yet to really have a good attacking chance in the 22. That ball's going to be dropped. Liam Murray manages to dodge one tackle, fired back across this time from Teddy Williams. Now, Thomas Williams again, back across Adam Baird. The ball over the top, out to Alice Mee. Got a little bit high from the South African defence. Williams back across to Jack Morgan. Made a few tackles already throughout the first 40 minutes of this game. Nice spin from Ryan Elias. Bit of a counter-ruck from Reinach there again. Selling a dummy, offload back on the inside. Few changes have been made for this Welsh team. Now, Thomas Williams again. To Ryan Elias, they're not making meters though here, Wales. South Africa defending it nicely. Nice little kick attempted in behind. It's rolling sideways and up, and Lele Farsi absolutely hoofs it down the field now on the roll, and because of it, the Welsh lose probably about 60 metres. Blair Murray decides to kick back downfield is the better option. Vusi Moyo at the back ready for it. And Alice Mee controls it, looking for a 50-22, or at least a seam that way until he goes up and under. Like and subscribe, says Red Howell there. Now Dylan Lewis, picked up by Williams. Flick pass again, Jack Morgan. Oh, a big collision with Visa as well as Vusi Moyo. Now short pop pass to Ryan Elias. Still no penalty advantages against the Springboks. That could have almost been one. There it is from Cobus Reinach. Terrible timing with my statement there again. Just trying to get the turnover while there was still a man in the breakdown. Again, the Welsh kick the ball away. No one getting to it. And they'll go back for the penalty. Moyo's boot laced with gold. Says so incredible. We have there maybe because Bok already winning. It's better to leave Fussy on as long as possible. To give him as much game time, says Xander. Yeah, I'd say there'll be some sort of tactical plan in it. As to why you leave him out there for a bit longer, because he's scattered in a couple decent moments, but there have been a lot of errors at the back from Fussy. And one kicked into touch by the Welsh there again. Substitutions now. We see Jan Hendrik Wessels, Andre Hugo Fenta, and also Ben Jason Dixon, all to make their way on. Ruben van Heerden has been solid in the line, but an open play he could have been doing better, says Janko. Visa, he's had a busy old start in this contest. Can't wait for the All Blacks to toss South Africa. All Blacks improving every game, says Petrus. Oh, this is interesting. Vusi Moyo, also one of the men who are getting taken off the field here. It looks like it is Mani Libok who's made his way on, already involved with the first touch off that line out. So about 10 metres out from the line now. Wales trying to get the steal, and they've won the penalty through Jack Morgan. Round the neck. Comment there. The Bowling squad says, Liza, I wonder if we win this evening. Am I, as a South African, allowed to be proud? Or will I be told I am arrogant for being proud? Says Diane. Now quick tap taken, Ryan Elias. Sitting about 7 metres out from the line. Thomas Williams. On away to the right again. There's an opportunity to see Juster and Williams on the wings. Says George. Well, Cheswell Juster. He is one of those guys who are definitely going to be the future of the Springbok side with what he's been able to do in the under-20s. Another advantage in favour of the Welsh. 10 metres out from the try line now. Thomas Williams. Going to the left-hand side. Moves it on nicely. Trying to reach out. It was going to be a knock-on. That's very illegal from Jaco Williams. He's ended up with the ball on the ground, but they will go back for the initial penalty again to the Welsh as the discipline starts to slip a little bit here for the South Africans. Big smile on the face of the crowd, though. They are absolutely loving this one. Now short side, Jack Morgan. 3 metres out, another penalty advantage in favour of Wales. It's time after time at the moment. Sad to see Moyo off. Not get a chance to play with the limbs at 15. Says Matt Farr. Now Thomas Williams. Cross to the right-hand side again. Moving it on. Blair Murray rush defence of Kurt Liarens. Ben Thomas looking for the cross kick. Moving it on to Lewis Rees-Zammit. And it's just a skip through. That is one of his first carries of this whole contest. And oh no, they were about to go back for the penalty advantage, but instead they will continue moving it on to the left-hand side. Now bounce pass. Hello, Hamish and viewers. So who is playing the box currently? No one. Says Runaway Bright. I mean, the Welsh are getting as close as they have been to being able to score. Okay, that was interesting. Andrew Brace actually asked the question of whether or not they wanted them to go and have a word to the Springboks, and they just took the quick tap, kept on going. Now going away to the left-hand side. And the penalty now is awarded to the South Africans. Are we over there? Seriously, it sounds as if Wales is dead on their feet. The dominance of the box seems too mighty. No slipping, please. Says Real Pirate. Queuing on Damien Williams or Cheslin Colby to play 15. Fussy, no. Says Jacode. But again, some hard work being done out there on the field. And those breakdowns, still 30 minutes remaining in this contest. So all the time in the world. And we have got the amount where Lewis Rezaman has not got him back to form after taking time off Union. Oh, okay, it's a sponsored deal in the stadium. I thought they were talking about someone who was about to make their way onto the field, but they were just shouting out the sponsors. But 26-0, currently still the way that it sits for the South Africans. We have got their money magic loading, just watch. And we have got get rid of Fussy forever. He has no bot fullback. He had a very good season, wasn't it, last year? That he had booked himself that 15th spot. They seem to have gone off him now this season. I'm not too sure why. That one's going to be another knock on. Now penalty awarded to the Welsh again. They've started to get a bit more momentum going throughout the second half period. Sounds like the Box are terrible at the moment. Says Craig. I'm beginning to hate the Box kicks. Says so incredible. And now again kicking this one into touch for Dan Edwards. We'll go low this time. The man that was penalised. Go on. Says Inquisitor. Rather have the Box make mistakes now and learn than make those mistakes against the All Blacks in the future. This match allows them to learn instead of just blindly dominate another game. Says period. This game is now becoming frustrating and infuriating in there. We have you there. Yeah, like I said, the Box discipline is bad. Why has it gotten so bad? Get it together. And go to Reinach off. So yeah, Reinach will go off the field, and that is for Herschel Yankees. Will make his long-awaited for some Springboks return. But a big moment for that man. Show what he can do. The Welsh still trying to find that way over the line. This rolling ball is going absolutely nowhere at the moment now, though. Now, low tackle. Oh, no, it's a knock on from the Welsh. Back in the hands of Paul de Villiers. Now, Money Libok going away to the left-hand side. Andre Hugo Fenter also out there. Pick and go from Peter Steph de Toy. What's the score at the moment? It's 26-0 in favour of the South Africans. I have not been following French club rugby much. How's Yankees' season been? It's been solid enough. I think that's why Rassi decided to chuck him in there, just because of, well, he's had a few injuries as well in terms of his halfback options, Rassi. But he's obviously done enough that's caught Rassi's eye and decided he's good enough to keep in there. And I hope Wales don't get nailed. They deserve something from this game, says Red Howe. Currently with the ball on the halfway line, it's a loose pass and it's picked up by better Steph de Toy. It was going forward from Wales anyway, so the knock-on advantage. All those stolen, but they'll go back now. In fact, it's an advantage, so penalty awarded to South Africa. And we can't afford to be giving away knock-ons too, says Inquisitor. If Rassi is trying to teach the Box discipline, this is a fail, says Dish. It's like Mani Lebok is again going to kick this one towards the corner, like we saw the tactic from Vusi Moyo in the first half. It's a decent strike on the ball there, Lebok. We have got this C-team, guys. If just relax, says Ulrich. This is a team I support wholeheartedly. Thumbs bockies. I'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've been awake all night. Yes. Yep, we haven't had a sleep as of yet, but it will be coming at some point, probably in about 5 hours' time or so. And thanks for me there, says Jason. No worries at all. And also, Fussy has never performed well at fullback at test level. As a classic example of a good player who's selling his franchise level, says Matt Var. Looks like now Jasper Visa will make his way from the field. Warren also comes on for Dylan Lewis. Worried about the Box continuity for the big games coming up. You know, says Pro Plebe. Well, now that there's been a bit of a rearrangement, we may even be able to squeeze in a bit of the under-20s game too. Depending on whether that game's going to start at its scheduled time. Now that one's thrown in. Now again, trying to get this rolling maul going in the right direction for the South Africans. Herschel Yankees joining into the back. Looking to rip it away, although Wales have managed to get that ball a little bit scrappy. Andre Hugo Fenter picking it up nicely and gets driven over the sideline. It's going to be a big decision, and it looks like it's going to go the way of the Welsh for the scrum feed, for the line out now. We have got there, you don't ever get burnt out on the rugby. Yeah, probably. But normally there's enough on that you just go to the next week and you're back to fresh enough. I don't think we're taking a single kick at a goal from a penalty. That is correct. Yeah, they've always been looking for the corner. That one's thrown in, gone the 15 metres and just claimed by the replacement loose head. This rolling more nonsense has got to stop. There's a back line that's no longer warmed up at this stage. Now Thomas Williams kicking this one downfield again, close to the sideline, well controlled by Kurtley Arendse, going back on the inside to Apalele Fassi. Now across again, Paul de Villiers moves it on to Mani Libok. Now picked up wide, cut out pass from Yankees, we're close to forward. It's been rolled as backwards, de Villiers now. Now Yankees again. Moves away to the left-hand side. Rush defence from Wales. We have got there has to be north and south, not both north. Says the Blue Nomad. Currently South Africa, with the way that the scoreline sits, they will be back to that number one spot. Apalele Fassi going for the kick in behind here. And it is going to now be the line out for the Welsh again. Why is Fassi still on the field? I assume they're going to put Valimza on for him at some point. But it seems like it's going to be a little way into this match. Because they haven't really rushed to do it just yet. Are we over there? Is Quagga coming back later in the year? I believe so. He's injured for most of the calendar year, though. I think he's taking Fassi off wide, kick it in to touch there. I haven't seen Tony Ball yet with all 3 games. All the wins have been technical, doing basics right and physicality. So here's George Smash. It's a good strike of the ball from Williams, but again hasn't managed to find the touchline. Apalele Fassi. It's Kurtley Arendse chasing after this one. Lewis Rees-Zammit slapping it back. It will go close to the sideline, and it does go into touch in the end. Have you ever thought about going for the quick throw? I think the crowd were also trying to gee them on. I've said there just a little bit of the not so much the inexperience, but they wanted a bit more from certain of these big players. We have you there, Fassi is so dumb, man. So he's going to have him. Maybe the Springboks are testing something and need Fassi on. This will be Fassi's last chance against just delaying it, giving him every chance, but just not good taking it. I think that Rassi will have a plan for Fassi. So, if Rassi's still putting him in, some people were taking Fassi out of their lineup from last week, but Rassi still has backed him time and time again. So, again, there's probably some sort of long-term plan in play for Apalele Fassi. Don't get me wrong, he's had his fair share of bad moments. But, yeah, if Rassi didn't trust him, he would have taken him off long ago here. New Zealand have played 2 tests. Are they at the end of the long season? The Box will be a completely different beast. Oh, sorry, New Zealand have played the 2 tests that are at the end of the long season. Now, stepping there. Haven't South Africa played 2 sides that are at the end of their long seasons too? Since they're playing the same Six Nations sides. But either way, Herschel Yankees still has got themselves the ball here inside of the 22, the box with Wilco low. No penalty advantage. Yankees fires it all. That was almost an ankle buster for Andre Hugo Fenter. Looks very slippery underfoot currently. Mani Libok looking for that classic cross kick. It's gone beautifully into the hands of Williams. Ball on the inside of Creel. He just lets it slip through the fingertips. I'll go back for it now. Another penalty. The Box have been pretty scrappy so far. ABs are en route. I'm a bit worried, to be honest. It's only 26-0. That is correct. Yeah, after 59 minutes. As acknowledged in his own podcast, he has a weakness of being too stubborn to give up, move on from a poor selection decision. Says Matt Farr there. Okay, next one's going to the bin. There's a comment there from Andrew Brace. Okay, going over the ruck, stopping us from getting the ball is the counter argument from Jack Morgan there. But that is pretty clear from Andrew Brace. Next one goes to the bin. Kurt Lee has been very quiet. He hardly had the ball throughout this game, Kurt Lee Aronsa. Of course, he probably would have liked it a little bit more than he's had it. And can Wales come back? Says Singh, no. No, they can't. But they can at least score one try from this matchup. That would be a pretty big goal or a pretty good start for the Welsh. They did lose 73-0 up against the South African side last year. We have got there, this Bok team does not stack up. If I paid money to be at this game, I would be pissed. Says Hanging Rat, and also enough with the music. There's been quite a bit of it throughout these breaks, hasn't there? The DJ's loving it. Second we'll go like that. And like that as well, but just waiting for the subs to be made now. Apalele Fasi will make his way from the park. This is an embarrassing match as a South African, needs to be said. I don't care if the score, it's too late to impress anyone. I'll also take Fasi off, says Yanev. But yeah, Fasi now off the field. Valimza has made his way on. Now big scrum advantage in favour of the Boks again. Herschel Yankees tries the snipe round the side of the scrum, springs straight back up to his feet. Now De Villiers goes to the right. So 20 minutes left and the bonus point is already in play for this side. You should stream the World Cup final tomorrow. I haven't actually watched a majority of that World Cup, so yeah, I'd have no idea who's in good form. Herschel Yankees going away to the left. Ruben van Heeren still out there on the park for his Springbok debut. He'd love to play the full 80 here. Won't go low. Gets that little bit closer. About 3 metres from the line. Now Yankees fires the skip pass out to Jesse Creel. Oh, a knock on there again. This time it was Paul De Villiers, but they did have the penalty advantage, so they get to go back anyway. 17 collapsing under pressure is the call there. Like they said, any other type of penalty probably would have resulted in the yellow card. Oh, that they're getting more of the DJ going now. I think that song's in Afrikaans. Oh, we have got there our people riding off the box. They are walking this in. Says Hosfoot. Yeah, it's pretty rough, isn't it? When you think about it. The fact that a side can be leading by 26 points to 0 and people still expect better. But then that is the level of standard that people put the Springbok side to. They expect them to have perfection, or at least very close to it. And I think Rassi will be a bit the same. He'd look at this game and say, no, we had too many errors throughout the 80 minutes. But it's still been... They've had all right moments throughout this match, haven't they? They've done enough. Oh, yeah, there's everyone fans. Don't be too far harsh. 11 wins in a row. I'll be chill. No, so now with New Zealand dominance re-established, South African nerves are real, and I expect way better. As a very bad performance, Rassi needs to wake up also, says Yanev. How many knock-ons by the Springboks? There's been a lot throughout this so far, 62 minutes. Now it is going to be the line out for Andre Hugo Fenta. So we go like that. And like that as well. But Ruben van Heeren claiming the line out yet again. And now rolling over this time, looking for the grounding. I think that's ruled as held up. Yes, it is. That is, I want to say, phenomenal work from the Welsh. The Boks were over. It seemed like all they had to do was run it in. The mistake made, though, couldn't get the ball down. Held up again, very bad. And far too many missed chances, says Chris. And also, when the All Blacks come, then we will see what happens now, says Yanev. Welcome for the first on the farm. Great commentary as usual. Go the Bok go, says Jan Snyman. Now Dan Edwards hurts this one long downfield. Bounces steeply into the hands of Mako Van Start. And he starts to drive it straight towards, I believe it would have been Ben Warren. Now back across to the right. Damian Valimza out there on the field, piercing through the Welsh defence, beating a couple defenders at the start of the game. Ben Thomas almost managed to get that ball, but does knock it on now short side. Jaco Williams, ball back to Herschel Yankees. It's try number 5 for South Africa here. And from open play for Lims's impact felt straight away. And also some great work from the youngster Yako Williams out on the wing. Be able to get himself the try assist. Just saying, how do you stop a move like that? But Williams lured in 2 defenders, fired it on the inside. So thanks very much for coming. It's a perfectly timed pass. 2 defenders got lured in, and Herschel Young, he's back in a Springbok kit. Gets his first try and quite some time. Bonus for the box. Says Omarico. I think Rasi is doing well by rotating players and giving the new caps some game time, getting ready for the World Cup. And not as clean as I wanted the game to go, but I'm always proud of the box. And that one has missed the way to the side for Mani Libok. We have got there, also South Africa is a country with great rugby and sportsmanship in many fields of sport. Yahoo the Bok, says Miral. Some of these comments, you're embarrassing yourself. Rasi knows exactly what he's doing. Keyboard coaches, says Mark there. And like I said earlier on, they're still winning 31-0 in a game that a lot of people aren't happy with this performance. I think there'd be a lot of sides that would take winning 31-0 in a bad day at the office every day of the week. We have got there, fanboy Amish getting excited for a country that isn't his own, loyalty lacking. Says, Jason, what are you going to do? Report me to YouTube again? We have got there, South Africa can't play netball for bad, though. They've had some good wins, haven't they? The women's side. Uh-oh. Direct shoulder to the head by Wales 18. This is going to be from Marco van Staden's sprint forward. I think they're going to check this, and I think this one's probably going to get someone in a bit of trouble here. And it's not Marco van Staden. We have got there OTMO, says Sakile there. He just went a bit too high up. Just getting the replay ready. Oh, they've got the heartbeat as well going round the ground. It's shoulder on the head. So I do think that this one, more than likely, they are going to give something for it, you would think. Okay, they've said clear, direct head contact. I think you're probably looking at yellow card in this scenario. 10-minute yellow, says Sakile there. And okay, building depth project finished. And now need to play 23. Right, they're still doing the decision. It's foul play because he is upright. It's reckless. It's head contact. And he will be going to the bin now. And on report, I don't think it's going to be upgraded, though. I think it will just remain as just that. A commentary is always awesome, says King Alika. Thank you very much. The updates on the Junior Cup final. By the sounds of it, it is not too far away from actually starting up. They're just saying that they feel it will remain as a yellow card, as it is a low level of danger. And like they've said, the last thing that the Welsh would need is any sort of red card here in this game. 1 second, I'll go like that. And I like that one as well. And Lebok has improved immensely thanks to Quay Cooper and Will Guinea. And we have there, what happened there, says Inquisitor. Apologies, Hamish, for leaving the chat for a bit. Phone battery got a fully charge. But yeah, I should mention yellow card, but the try did still stand. So 65 minutes through. 15 minutes remain on the clock. The Boks can still get towards that 45 that I did predict. But they'd have to get themselves 2 converted tries in the last 15 minutes, which doesn't seem unlikely. I think you're not covering the under-20 final. Well, initially it was going to completely overlap, which was a big shame. Although now it seems like it's not going to be as much of an overlap. So if they're showing it in New Zealand, we might actually be able to have a crack at it. But it will be a bit disorganised and we'll probably start late. Is the only thing. But it might still be something, as long as they're showing it here in New Zealand, that is. I think they were just talking about the football there. In terms of the footwork from Jesse Creel. Best match cover, thanks, Hamish, says Chris. And your regulars know you're a legend. And we have got there, is this their B team again, says Naidu. This is a mixture of a team that we have seen put together, but still doing pretty effectively. Still winning 31-0 against this French side. Against this Welsh side. Now it will be the scrum feed for the Boks about 25 metres out from the line. The C team says call me Shorts. So another 8.5 minutes remaining of that Welsh yellow card too. So it is going to take a bit of time before they get back to the full 15 on the field. That is if, of course, it doesn't get upgraded into a red card scenario. And the Boks can at least get 50 in this game. Your 45 prediction is not that far off, says Liza. Yeah, I might be relatively close, which doesn't happen too often. Now, another advantage at scrum time. Herschel Yankees fires it away to the left. Nicely passed on by Damien Dearlende. Now Damien Valimza out to Kurtley Arendse cutting around. Lewis Rees-Zammit still flying forward up to 10 metres out from the line. Herschel Yankees looking to the short side again, wanting the miracle offload to Creel. It's gone into touch. But again, they were under penalty advantage. And that is something that has been very much so hurting this South African side. This Welsh team, they just can't stop giving away penalties. We have got their Wales are gone. Another 2 tries, please. And can Barrett play against the Springboks in the tour? If you're talking Bowden, then yes. If you're talking Scott, then no. Unfortunately, Scott Barrett has got that back injury that is going to leave him out for the whole tour. Although he is one of course, many locks across both teams that they have had injury troubles. And we have got there, did Wales actually show up today? Says the Blue Nomad. And we're prepping for 3 back-to-back World Cup victories, says Ulrich. But they have just got there. Saw Ruan Nokia wearing the tracksuit on the sideline. He is one who is definitely a player to keep an eye out for throughout this season. Now the Welsh defending a rolling maul yet again. Breaking off the back is Andre Hugo Fenta, 3 metres short of the try line. Wales have done well to only concede once so far, twice in fact, throughout the second 40 minutes. Now De Villiers again. Going off to Peter Steph de Toy. Herschel Yankees pops it up to Mani Libok, delays the pass, then fires it out wide. That is world class from Mani Libok out to Kurtley Arendse. Now it's the subtle motions that made that try a reality. And for Libok, he sold a little short dummy. It threw the Welsh player the wrong way. And then from there, another big wide cutout pass from Mani Libok, and Kurtley Arendse runs it into the corner as they sit now 36-0 up. Cheers, Hamish. Pleasure listening to you always. Says Christo. Can't wait to see Steve Hanson's thoughts about the Springboks on the upcoming podcast. He's been criticising and hating the Boks. Says George Smash. And we have there, I'm not really interested in these 2 teams. I just like Hamish's commentary. Says the Blue Nomad. What I'm quickly going to do, though, is I'm going to check for an update on that junior under-20s matchup. It is supposed to be taking place in the very near future. It's kicking off in 15 seconds. Does anyone have an update about whether or not it's still going to be happening at this time, or whether they've been delayed again? Do let me know. But it is now 69 minutes into this game. 36 points to 0. And 2 more tries from the green. Now, unfortunately, it does take away my 45-0 or 45-point prediction in favour of the Boks due to that missed kick. You're an excellent multitasker, says Carol Ann. Yeah, believe it or not, while this last 5 minutes or so has been going on, I made a thumbnail for the under-20s game and also completed the lineups for the 2 sides just in case we end up doing it so that we can jump straight over at the end of this game. Mako Fun started now. Mani is great, but he can't get that goal kicking down, says Jan. And under-20 final about to kick off, says Yanko. This one kicked up high again towards the sideline, slapped forward by Lewis Rees-Zammit, and Jack Morgan takes the ball over the sideline. Wales are dominating, says Jason. And how's Peter Steph Toy playing so far? He's had more handling errors today than you're used to seeing for a Peter Steph Toy performance, but still pretty solid as a whole. Peter Steph Toy, physical, in terms of that 4-pack too. Let's see, we'll go like that. We will go like that as well. And blooding new players is one thing, but are we sharpening the team? You're the best damage, says Deborah. And literally kicking off now, says Neil Bester. Now looking to get the rolling more, marching forward at the moment here. The South Africans, Andre Hugo Fenta breaking off the back. How's Vusi Moyo doing? He certainly has promise. So they actually took him off early in this game, which was a bit of a shame. They decided to bring on Mani Libok early in the second half, but Vusi Moyo, he had some solid moments. He looked nervous out there on the field, as you're always going to be as a young player in this type of environment. All right, there is another knock on, this time from the Springboks here. Be disappointed to just keep that one slipping through the fingertips. Would have thought Wales would have at least have some more points by now. Yeah, see, they've turned down a couple threes that maybe, again, they could have taken, but really they knew that wasn't going to be able to win them the game, so they went aggressive, went for the corner. Bad performance. We're not winning no series against New Zealand, says Jaden there. I think there's still promise, though. Like, at the end of the day, these are guys that for a lot of other sides wouldn't have gotten any game time. Whereas Russie has chucked them in and given them the chance here to show what they can do. Now, some have lived up to expectations and some probably booked themselves some more starting minutes in the future. Others maybe didn't quite get it going the same way that they would have liked. There was actually a small knock on. I had the loose ball before that, says Jan. And the Springboks need to move, says Glory Goddard. Now, call a bind from Andrew Brace. We got less than the 10 minutes remaining in this game, which is currently sitting pretty one-sided. The Springboks, though, once again trying to march forward at scrum time. Ball out the back to Mani Libok. Looked like a bit of confusion there on the short side. Call the play on from the referee. Will you start for the under-20 final, or will you call it a night after this? So we've actually still got England versus Argentina later on tonight. So what I think we're going to end up doing, I'm just doing this all on the fly, by the way, in terms of making decisions. But at 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time, so 12 minutes time, we're actually going to jump over to that under-20s bot game. We might as well do it, seeing as it's been delayed. So we'll miss the first 15, but we will pick up from there. And then we'll go right through to about the start of the other matchup between Argentina and England. I was initially going to be having a bit of a break, but that's probably gone now, which I'm not mad about. There's rugby on at the end of the day, so we will keep it going throughout. Too many team changes, and this one has not gelled that well, says Hanger Rat. Right, they are just having another change here. Let's see, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. Long day for you, says Washer Dryer. Yeah, I've just added an extra about hour and a half to the day too by adding that next matchup. Now, ball on the side of the Welsh. They have still got another 50 seconds remaining of that yellow card. Now, booted high, Lewis Rees-Zammit chasing after. It just hasn't been anywhere near as involved as he's needed to be in this match for the Welsh. Number 5, never onside. So this time, penalty goes the way of the Welsh. And we have got, there go the box, says Anton. And in a Wales play on their previous encounter. So their most recent game, they played Argentina and it didn't have a bad showing whatsoever. They actually stepped up quite nicely against the Argentines at times. So, like 36-0 compared to 73-0 last year. Is it an improvement? I would almost say yes, even though it's still not as much of an improvement as they would have liked. This is so bad from us. Like, come on, how can we play like this? Says Yanev there. Right, the yellow card is over, so back to the full 15 on the field now for the Welsh. And a penalty awarded to South Africa in the breakdown, lightning quick. I'm going to rip it away again. Thanks so much, wonderful work as always. Leonard in there from Imagination Freaks. Right, Mani Libok with the 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a multitasking stage here, ladies and gentlemen. But what I have done is I have scheduled that South Africa junior game that is set to take place in the very near future. Well, it is currently live. It is 0-0 between the teams. We're going to continue on the commentary after this one. But yeah, majorly multitasking to get in to do this one. But now ball's loose. Herschel Youngke's waiting for the bounce of the ball. It sits up for him, but they'll go back initially for the original knock on. We have got there. People don't seem to get that perfectly oiled machine doesn't just happen. Players don't magically gel with each other in the AB's test. They build that experience. And 6 minutes in, South Africa 0-0. The junior box as they hold the ball up in the maul. Now have a feed into the scrum close to their own try line. 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes, South Africa 0-0. Says Ian Thomas. But yeah, we will jump straight over to that game as soon as this match ends. It just means that we won't have a post-match review of this one, but I feel like I have to be very careful with what I say in a post-match review. I've learnt that from last week. 4 minutes remain. It's going to be Morgan Williams off the bench. Big scrum from the box yet again, but the ball comes out the back for Wales. Now cross kick attempted. Nicely taken out wide by Alice Mee. Tries to grab her, but Damien Valimza blocks it. He's got Mani Libok on the inside, who he never quite saw. He tried to go to DLND instead, who's knocked it on. Well, let's try. And 2 minute mistakes, boys. We want tries, please, says Runaway Brides. And we have got there, I'm a real person. South African can grow up, says Yanev. And also, I think it was difficult for the box to get motivated for this game, says Jon Nedeling. Brilliant pickup from Damien Valimzo once again. Managed to block it. We have got there, I'm so happy for not using such bad language as one of the other commentators, says Marius. And also, it's another knock on from us. Great, says Yanev. There's been a fair few of them throughout this contest, that is for sure. That's now back in place, I think. But 3 minutes left. And we are jumping over to that Bok versus France under-20s matchup, ladies and gentlemen, which we have now managed to get all scheduled and rearing to go. There is also the matchup between England and Argentina, which is going to be taking place in the near future as well. Lots of handling errors on both sides, yeah. It's been pretty disappointing in terms of the amount of times that the ball's been dropped. It's another one that has been a one-sided affair. 40,299 in attendance, though, in Durban for this matchup, which is fantastic to see those large crowds. Free kick goes the way of the Welsh. Morgan Williams takes it quickly. Now going across, and Costello, or sorry, not Costello, I should say Dan Edwards, again going for a chip and behind. That just seems like Wales are willing to give the ball straight back to South Africa each and every time. Who's got possession currently? South Africa, after the Welsh did kick that ball away. Now Ruben van Heeren moves it on to Mani Libok. Jesse Creel decides he might as well attempt to grab it too. It's a nice kick. Awkward bouncy ball for Alice Mee. And it comes off him and into touch, which now gives South Africa the 5 metre line out. We have got there, Hamish possibly post-match video title. Springboks narrowly escape with victory over Wales. No, we're not using narrowly ever again. And Greasy Ball says Blue Nomad. I'm sure we got this game in the bag, says Anton there. Fantastic commentary, thanks, Hamish. Strength for the next match, says Carol Wan. But yeah, that next one is just around the corner. The junior box taking on France. It has started up. The junior box have just taken a 3 with Ahmed. So they lead 3-0 in that final. There's UFC tonight, Hamish. There is. Drakus du Plessis going head-to-head with Kamaru Usman, isn't it? As the main event of that contest. Now rolling maul here for the box. Looking to end on a high. They've got it down over the line. And it's Paul de Villiers who may score the last try of this contest here. Solid. Once again, the rolling maul. Hamish of the master says, no, I do think Hamish Destalani there. We have got there KZN Stadium, always greasy. And also, Durban humidity is high at the moment, making it hard to hold on to the ball. And Wales are pathetic, says Stephen Hope. The Villiers now with 30 seconds remaining. I don't think they'll get the kick away in time here, South Africa. Oh, actually, if they go quickly, they might. And in fact, they do. 20 seconds remaining. The score now 43-0. Devastation Man says Naidu. And DDP is going to win his fight tonight. He also supports the box. And talking about language, wildcard from Australia last week was very upset with the team performance. This week, happy. A good try by Paul. And lots of due there for the drops. Says Andrea. And this was a frustration performance by the Boks, says Liza. And there as well, but the Welsh will kick this one off. Looking to just get at the 10 metres. It's a knock-on from Peter Steph-Toy, which has kind of summarised this game as a whole. But it is still a dominant win. 43 points to 0 in favour of South Africa. Tell you what, my prediction, 45 points in favour of the Boks, wasn't actually a mile off. I was only 2 points out for this contest. Hey, Hamish, thanks as always, says Scott there. And we are cruising nicely. Says Akuso there, and thanks, Hamish. Great commentary as always, says Kathy. Thank you very much. Your prediction was spot on. Says Tevin there. And 43-0, great defence. And that is now twice in a row that the Springboks have been able to keep the Welsh to 0 out there on the field. Thanks, Hamish, says Deej. Thank you, Hamish, says Tanya. But what we have got now, ladies and gentlemen, initially, we were going to have an hour and 30-minute break where I was going to have a rest. I was going to have a snack. Instead, now what we have got is we are jumping straight over to another matchup. It's the Junior Boks in the final up against the French. That is the link to take you to the live stream at the end of this match as well. It will take you there. If you do want to jump over, it is greatly appreciated. We can continue the chat about this matchup while also watching these junior sides going head-to-head after a bit of a delay in the junior competition. But currently, it is 3-0 for South Africa in that contest. There is a bit of an injury for Bastien Razal by the looks of it, the number 12 for the French. We have their very inaccurate game, disappointing. Says Hangarat. And also, Hamish, you rock man. Thanks, Hamish, and Fabulous H. Says Red How there. Congratulations, Bok. Thank you, Hamish. And sorry, Hamish, no breakfast for you. Yep, breakfast is going to be delayed. That is for sure. And also, we have they're also calling it now, New Zealand beating South Africa 4-0. And well done, the Springboks. So, yeah, that is the link. And also, you'll get taken straight over there. We will see you all in about 2 minutes' time for that Junior Boks versus French matchup.